Hi, everyone. Welcome to our episode 10 of the prologue. Year is 482, or it's about to be, because we're going to do winter phase at the beginning of this. Yay.
Hell yeah.
So I'm Bob. I'm the GM. We're speeding right along now. We're back into a rhythm of consistent weeks in a row. The holiday season wasn't very good for that, so happy to get back and see these lovely faces every week. So I'll pass it on to Thomas.
Hello. It's me. Some call me the Space Cowboy, some call me the Gangster of Love, but some also call me Thomas, and some call me Goratrix when I'm playing in character. Hello.
And no one calls them the first two. Mark.
They should. They should.
Hi. Yes. Hi, I'm Mark. I will be playing Sir Edward, and I believe that's who I'm playing. It's been a while, guys. It's been a long week. Yes, Sir Edward. That's what I'll be doing today. Hi, welcome.
That's setting us off at a good pace. You're like, what is my character name again? So I know
It was a roller coaster. That was a roller coaster of emotion there.
Good to have you, Mark. Liam.
Hi, everybody. It's me, your boy, Liam, playing Sir Dallin tonight and the last few nights as well. I'm looking forward to the game, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited about Arthur. I'm so excited about Pendragon, you guys.
Agreed. But before we do that, I think we need Thomas to talk about his recent hair escapade.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not so much an escapade, so much as I got the haircut, and now I am a kilo lighter. I can see normally now, and I don't have hair going into my ears or nose, so I'm quite happy. The hairdresser kept on trying to make stuff fancy, but I just wanted my hair, but less. But he gave me a fade. I'm not sure if it's visible with the low grain.
You've got you've got curly hair, right, Thomas? A little bit.
Not really. It
Not
curls
super
slightly
curly, but
because of lot of headphone use, but not super curly.
I know that when I go to the barber, I always have like such a surreal reaction to how much fucking hair was actually on my head. Like
Yeah.
I've gone sometimes with friends that are girls that have like, shoulder or even back length hair, and somehow I will have had more hair that didn't even go down to my ears on my head than they do in their whole existence. So
I'm right there with
I
you.
used to have that problem. It went away with age.
I've been over that too. Baldness does run in my family, but apparently for me, all of the height that would go into my body, all of the growth, goes into fingernails and hair. So
I've got on my dad's side, baldness runs in the family, but on my mom's side, the men in that family famously have really full heads of hair for most of their lives. So I'm flipping a coin on this one, baby. We'll see where we go.
I was screwed either or. Both sides were, but maybe by either.
Yeah, I'm in a similar position.
Yeah, they are talking about like some protein stuff that there. It wouldn't surprise me with all the other medical advancements in the last 10 years if we start to see supplements that just make that go away, that problem go away. But we'll see.
Yeah. I for one looking forward to wearing a toupee. That sounds like it's going to be a lot
of fun. I did wear a wig I dressed up like a Lost Boys vampire a few years ago, and it was like all cut from the gym, and it was perfect. It was like this long, ridiculous black mane of hair. It looked really. I had my leather jacket.
Very nice.
And of course, no shirt. Nice. But you know what? That was the worst part of the costume, was not wearing an undershirt, because man, it was cold just wearing a jacket. It was like, if you don't do that, people didn't really get it. With it open, it was like, oh, you must be one of those. A lot of them didn't know what the name of the movie was. But you're one of those vampires, right? With Kiefer Sutherland.
With it closed, you just look like a roadie.
Yeah, it just looked weird. Anyways, Pendragon, right? That's what we're here for.
Pendragon, yes.
More or less.
I think we're here to do right.
All right. Music's on. Let's begin the winter phase. This is only our second winter, so. And just a reminder to the folks at home, we are kind of doing rules light and vanilla version of this. For you guys, the rules are actually in the Roll20. They're one of the handouts, so you guys can check that out. I'll pull it open for the stream here. Here comes the paperwork portion of the game. Yay!
My favorite part of
Woo!
every game. Let's do it.
Paperwork.
It is at least, moderately entertaining because it involves character whatnot.
Yeah.
I, for one, can't wait to file my taxes.
I wonder if I get a tax write-off for donating to a faith I don't believe in.
Yeah, that doesn't blow up very well, so I'm just gonna share it in a new.
Yeah. What you got to do is you have to open it in a new tab and then zoom in from there.
Yeah, I just pulled it up and I have the link, so I'm cheating.
Yeah.
I did get it.
Oh, there we go. It's embiggened.
Okay. So we're not going to worry about solo scenarios and events, but is there anything, I think it's an opportunity to kind of say, is there anything you would have done before the Easter Court this year that would have been relevant based on, not based on anything we're about to roll for, basically. Is there anything important coming out of the last mission and scene that you just want to establish with me right now?
Not anything that would have happened recently. Goratrix is on the lookout for more Household Knights, but when it comes to feasts and inviting notable guests, Goratrix actually has no one at the moment. His uncle is not in good no, sorry. His uncle got his father killed and is not in good standing with the rest of his family. So yeah, Goratrix just chilling solo.
Fair enough. What about Edward?
Yeah, Edward's probably not doing much, but training Cadfile, his squire, making sure he's ready for the real world. But also in kind of a, you're a bastard, I'm a bastard, I know what it's like, we have the same dad, it's gonna be weird, but we're gonna make it through this. Kind of a thing.
Yeah,
real
I'm
talk around.
I'm a bastard, you're a bastard.
They're rolling it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm a bastard, you're a bastard, and yet we're still half brothers. Yeah, that's a weird thing to go through, for sure.
Yeah.
That's like Crusader Kings 2 stuff right there.
Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, and
My dad, like Zeus. And I mean that.
how about Dallin?
It was Dallin's going to. So Mark kind of stole part of mine there because I do also want to spend a lot of time training my darling boy Rickard.
Yep.
And specifically, while Dallin is going to focus on swordsmanship stuff, most of the things that they're going to do is general civility things, like, hey, here's how you stick to your guns in a situation when the rules might be opposed. Here's how you walk away from situations that might be difficult for you, feeling comfortable with the choices that you've made, that kind of stuff. Things that would make him real challenged if he turns out to be a spy that's spying on my household.
Mm-hmm.
But no, there's no malicious intent behind it. Dallin is just kind of making sure that this kid has a positive influence in his life.
All right. So basically, tenets of chivalry, is that kind of the idea?
A little less of the official code of chivalry, and a little bit more of here's how you find your own meaning in the code.
Okay. Right.
Because Dallin breaks a couple of rules here and there occasionally.
Yeah, it's fair.
So I've heard.
A couple of rule breaks as a treat.
Dallin
and no one will know.
Dallin and Edward, why don't you both give me intrigue rolls, actually? for this specific thing.
Ooh.
And we'll get Goretrix into the Squire mix one of these days.
It's been a new year. Does that mean we level up our stuff, or does that come at a certain time?
That's coming very
That's
soon.
coming.
Coming soon.
It's
Gotcha.
coming, yeah.
The solo scene
Yeah.
stuff happens first, so
Aye, aye, Captain.
Yeah. Goretrix is a career extrovert who at the moment is just in an empty house all the time with an uncle who he's not speaking to.
I picture that whining voice from what's his name, the big guy in Vox Machina. The
Grog.
Goliath, yeah, that whiny voice he
Grog.
does when he's alone, pouting. Yeah.
Boys know
wait.
where here with me.
The vibes in House Winterbones
Prague.
Stoke are atrocious.
Okay, look, the house is a house of schemers and people who are great at getting what they want, except Goretrix. Goretrix is a rib kicker.
All right. So we got a pass from Dallin. Okay.
And a fail from Edward. Unsurprised.
No worries.
The whole "we're a bastard" speech wasn't inspiring.
Yeah, no, funnily enough.
So, Dallin, you managed to spend enough time and you're insightful enough in your communications to be able to pull a bit more of an understanding of Rickert and what he's, what sort of his most obvious traits are right now. Generous is one. Trusting is one.
Oh.
Yeah.
What a good lad. I'm proud of him.
And then, or was it? I had a second ago.
Traitors.
Traitorous.
If he rolls high enough, he'll turn on his house.
How
And
could
then
you
you
do
know,
this?
shower into a trap.
How could you do this? Rickert Traitorio. I can't believe you've done this.
Really?
Believe it.
Can't believe it? Oh, where's that from? Trattorio.
Oh, I think it's from
Helsing.
Helsinga Bridge. Yeah.
Yes,
yeah,
Helsinga Bridge.
Yeah, Helsing Ultimate Bridge.
So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
It was spared.
just a note on this. You get a sense too with Rickert that he has a greater love for his family than he does a loyalty to Count Roderick. Like, it doesn't necessarily say something by itself. There's no red flags or warning signs. You did pass the roll. It's just.
I mean, me too. Like,
yeah.
That's
That's what I'm saying. Like, it depends on the person, but it's clearly shaping up enough to be noticeable.
Interesting. Well, I actually see zero problems with that because I'm the same way, and
Perfect.
you know, I don't dislike our Lord, but also don't really care. So
Yeah,
cool.
fair enough. Okay. So on to the next tier. I am navigating stuff and losing my windows. There we go. All right, experience rolls.
Oh, yes.
You guys all get to roll on every ticked skill. Did you have Liam, did you have intrigue ticked already?
I did not.
You can go ahead and do that.
Hell yeah!
For
I
that
love being our
solo
resident
piece.
intrigue boy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so now y'all get to roll on every single ticked skill, trait, and passion. You
Okay.
increase by 1 if you roll over its value. If its value is already 20, it increases on a roll of 20. And there's
Gotcha.
more experience stuff coming later, remember? But this is just the freebie one, right?
So for this one, we're trying to get over the threshold.
Yeah,
You're going
because
to fail, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I get
the
you,
idea is
I get
it's friggin' hard to just naturally get better.
Yeah,
Where if you put
yeah.
training in, so like if you're really bad at intrigue and you happen to roll, you happen to
I
get a
get you.
tick on intrigue, then it's much easier to go up a little bit.
Alright.
Shall we do it one by one, or just free for all, flat it out?
That's a really good point. Let's.
I've already started.
Yeah, no, rolls are
I'm
fine,
rolling.
but let's talk about it to people.
Yeah.
So
Good go.
Galen, looks like you rolled.
I'm
You
slightly
do not.
lazier.
Yeah, you're slightly lazier, but your intrigue is not better. Is that correct?
Oh no,
That was his
I,
previous
that was a
one.
roll.
that was my older one. Yeah.
And same with Mark.
Um,
Never mind. So perfect.
Do you guys want to go next? Or do you want me to just rapid fire mine?
You do
Uh,
go through them.
I think
Yeah.
we're going with yours.
All right. Let's see if I get more just. I do not.
Oh,
No.
So
you're pretty
I remove,
just.
So I remove the tick now, and
Yep.
then I move on to. I am not more vengeful, so that's good. That's
Oh.
good.
Very good.
Let's see if I get more suspicious.
Oh,
I do get more suspicious.
That makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense
oh,
for
yeah.
your character, right?
very much.
I think it does. Some things happened this year that make me very nervous. Let's see. Awareness. Okay, awareness does not change. Courtesy. Courtesy also does not change. Folklore. This one's definitely going to change.
There
Hell
we
yeah.
go.
I know about
Nice.
spooky ghosts now or something. Intrigue.
You can recognize a dog if you see one.
I can recognize dog. My favorite skill. Intrigue does not change. Recognize. Recognize does change.
Hey.
All right, cool. And then lastly, I've got one more, which is horsemanship, which also does
Yeah.
change.
That's
Very
a good one to
nice.
increase.
Nice.
It is.
Yeah, that's
Alright.
pretty good.
I am now better at horsemanship and battle than I am at sword and lance. So,
Cool.
alrighty, that's me done.
I like it. All right,
All right.
might as well go up.
You want to go?
No.
Thomas?
Well, let's go with Mark.
Oh,
Let's go on.
okay. All right. First time rolling just.
More just.
That's a failure, so it goes up.
He's a just man.
Edit the sheet.
I didn't expect that one coming from Edward, but that works. Not that he's arbitrary. I just it makes sense.
He understands
Yeah.
what justice is, and it should happen to those people right now and violently.
Exactly.
I wish I remembered where the tick came from.
Justice is a good thing. It's also violent. Very violent.
Oh, so violent justice.
Just wait till you get to
rolling
execute the
cruel.
Lord's justice.
Oh.
Well, not as cruel. That's good.
Temperate. Not as temperate. Ooh, and the good one. I hope I get hold of this one. Valorous. Just not
close.
enough. Right, and I get passion. Loyalty lord. No, high enough. One
No
day
more
I'll increase
loyalty.
my hate of Saxons. Yeah.
I don't think it's possible to hate them more, but then again, they always surprise us.
Yes. Hunting.
Oh, good.
Oh, that goes up.
Hunting boy.
Intrigue. This is likely to go up. No,
Ah.
it didn't. This is a bad roll.
Yeah,
Coward.
we're rolls like that when you
Uh,
were trading your people. Dude,
Oh, right,
Also
another
did not
one.
go up.
Yeah.
That
your luck
sucks.
is very bad, whereas in any other situation it would be good.
Oh, those are sad.
Battle-
Those are really sad. Like you roll. Aw.
Yeah, I know. Horsemanship goes up.
Good.
And now the one I really want. Sword.
So
I need to get
yeah,
a 19 or higher for it to go up.
I believe in you.
Oh,
No, that's a
the
one.
opposite.
The opposite. Yeah, the opposite.
Man.
Yeah,
Oh man.
and that's all my skills.
And that represents it being difficult as hell.
Mm. It's hard to climb that mountain once you're like really near the top.
I feel like in that case it's less as difficult, more that I rolled a shit.
That too.
Well, it's also difficult as hell for that one. But yeah, your other one sucked. I will agree.
I I almost did the thing that I do, where I was muted and then I almost unmuted myself just to sneeze because it's a bad reflex. And I'm so glad I caught myself.
You can sneeze on stream. We're not cops.
Oh man.
Sneeze into the microphone.
I would have. I'm my setup is like I can't really. My mic is like right in front of my face, and I can't move it anywhere. I would have gotten like just right into the mic.
I would do that too when I was on push to talk and just like role playing. Like during scenes, I'd be like, I need to make a sound. When I make sounds, I transfer my voice. Clearly, this is. I have to stop myself. Yeah.
I did that in another game when I had COVID a few weeks ago. Carrie's game. Thomas and Mark are in. I unmuted myself just in time to like hack up in front of them. Just in time. I almost never do that, but I threw myself off that one. And so with Edward done, now we're on to Gortrix.
The time is here. And Gortrix has gotten a surprising amount of sins. I'm going to go for Reckless first.
No.
Is not as reckless.
That one is not surprising. Out of the list that you say surprising amount, that is that vice makes a lot of sense. And it's actually pagan, I think. No, it's not. Energetic. It's not reckless.
Yeah, energetic is.
Yeah.
Oh, and I don't have energetic ticked, but it's a 17, so there's not much room to go.
No.
This is worldly, and I do become more worldly. I have seen the negative side of the spiritual world, and instead of making me a not believer, it's more a, oh god, I don't want to deal with it very often.
Makes sense.
And suspicious. The world itself has been shown to be a tapestry painted by dark gods. Let's see.
Hey.
If he can't trust his senses, what can he trust?
Makes sense.
Other people. But
well,
then...
funny enough, that's a good transition to the next little add-on, but we'll wait for that for a second. Continue.
And now, my virtues. Generous. And I become more generous. I gave money to a church, which is persecuting me.
That makes sense.
You gave money it's even more fucked up than you gave money to a church that you don't go to. You gave church to the money to the church that's specifically trying to wipe out religion.
That's trying to push us out of the country that we were in first. Let's go for just. I am not more just, but let's see if I'm more merciful. Please, more merciful. Please. Not more merciful, unfortunately. Love of family, I got a 5% chance. The opposite. The opposite of what I need.
The Mark luck there.
Literal opposite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For my skills, not too many. One for hunting, which I succeed on. So I get extra hunting. I've been on hunts. And heraldry, which, if our luck holds... Yes, exactly. I got, there were 3 numbers I could have gotten. I got one of them.
Nice.
And I don't increase in skill. I'm as good as heraldry as I'm supposed to be. And the one that I too am interested in, sword. Now I'm less good at it than Sir Edward is. Yeah. But
but you're not bad at it. So you don't.
In fact, I'm very good at it.
You guys got so much better at sword than me when I wasn't looking. What happened?
Killed a lot of
basically
people.
All I've been increasing.
But yeah, that's everything for Gortrix.
All right. So now we get to add a little fun piece here to this whole thing. So you'll see on a character sheet, and I'll just pull up Gortrix as an example. Why not? So you'll see underneath your personality traits, there's an add button. When you click it, it adds something called a directed trait. All 3 of you get to add 2 directed traits, but I want it to be a conversation at the table about what makes the most sense. These are, and we'll roll to see just how much the directed traits are. These will all be tied, both of these like directed traits that each of you have will be tied to either suspicious or trusting, and one particular person that you in the game. And it can be, so just a reminder, There's your family. There's your squires. There's, I mean, I'm going to mention. I'll mention Gareth, but there's really not a reason. Jareth, but there's not even a reason to mention him. There's King. There's Merlin.
So Gareth,
And
we
then
were
there's
thinking the exact same thing.
then there's the folks you just went on a journey with King in Yellow. So I'll let you maybe starting with Gortrix. We'll go back the other way. What do you think your 2 directed traits are?
So I pick 1 trusting, 1 suspicious. Yeah.
Nope. You can choose to do either. You can take 2 suspicious. You could take 2 trusting. You could take 1 trusting, 1 suspicious.
I am going to go suspicious, and it's going to be on the person who was laughing when we encountered the sign of the Yellow King, and also doesn't remember the stuff. I forget his name. It's Sir Lyman?
So Onion.
Sir Onion, got you.
Onion.
I figured it was something I would eat. But yeah. Okay, so Sir Onion.
Fine.
And I am going to go trusting Sir Dalen. Even though situations there was a little bit odd, Sir Dalen has trusted me with one of their greatest secrets, and also is smarter than Goratrix. And also, Goratrix and Edward are 2 alike in that these people should be beaten up. So he's going for more a second opinion.
That's fair. That's pretty fair.
All right. So you've chosen your 2. Now, starting with the first one you named, roll a d4.
Suspicious Sir Onion is at a 4.
Okay. So what that is, it's like a +4 is how you'll enter that on your sheet for a directed trait. So whenever you're rolling suspicious, you add +4 when it's specific to that guy.
Oh.
I'm going to give you guys a good look at the mural on my shirt while I put down the laptop and type on my keyboard.
That's cool.
I was looking through like Uther's sheet and other people's sheet, and like, I use directed traits. Why aren't we doing that?
And shall I do the same for what's your name? Liam?
Dalen?
So Dalen?
So Dalen.
Yeah.
Dalen.
Dalen. Oyon.
Let's do it. A 2.
A 2.
Bless you.
Oh, great. I
Yeah,
can lie as
trusting-
much as I want now. You'll never know.
I wouldn't know normally.
Yeah, so
I
you have
got 1 point of suspicious.
Yeah, so your trusting is for Dalen is +2.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And
So
once
whenever
again,
you roll trusting and it pertains to Dalen, you get to add a +2 to your number. What is that then? That would be an 11 for Dalen and 9 normally?
Correct. For my suspicious of Onion, it would be 15.
Nice. Right, that makes a lot of sense. We'll go down to Edward next. What do you think, Mark? What do you got?
Funnily enough, I was going to do the same thing in regard to the suspicious, but I might do something different now.
You totally don't have to. I mean, you guys are
No, it's
working
okay.
as a group, so those things can come up.
I mean, it's mostly because Edward does not trust him at all. He thinks he's was being very suspicious.
The whole time.
Yeah. I will do.
Actually, you failed the roll, so you can't take suspicious of Onion. Actually,
That's right.
Oh.
Okay.
and same with Dalen.
I think I will do trusting Prismatic. I think that fits well for Edward.
Oh, yeah.
Because he kind of
He
of
is a
looks up
cop.
to him in kind of a we're in a similar we were both in a similar situation, both born bastards and kind of welcomed into their families in different levels.
Totally makes
It's
sense.
not because you're both cops, for sure. Yeah.
They're not
Definitely not because we were both cops. I'm a businessman.
Gonna make you money in business land.
Prince
All right.
Trusting. Other one. I'm trying to think of what would be appropriate or makes sense.
I
It's
think
gonna
I
be
got
Jareth.
one of mine.
I mean,
Depends on
Can
how
it
much
be?
it.
Because I mean-
suspicion, Jareth. Like, He
It-
really doesn't like Jared.
It almost generates an era, like a sense of paranoia towards the person.
Yeah. I think it fits.
You're so right, Thomas.
Means you're suspicious of his motives. Anything he does, you're like, what's he really up to? That kind of thing, right?
I think we
Up to.
were doing that anyway. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
I mean, basically, like when he's like, "Oh, I'll take the other troops and I'll meet up with you and reinforce you." Maybe and we're like, "Yeah, sure you will, punk."
like we
He's
totally buy
definitely
that.
gonna betray us.
Honestly, he could be like, "Oh shit, I got to go to the bathroom really bad," and we'll be like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
what are you
doing?
in
Where are you
there?
gonna? Yeah, where
You
you
gonna
gonna put
plant
the
a
poison?
you gonna plant a bomb? Are you gonna plant a bomb in the bathroom? What
In
what's your
medieval
reasoning?"
times, how you gonna do it?
All right,
That's awkward.
and then you get to roll for both those. D4
Alright.
each.
Yes.
You can roll a D6 for Jareth.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
We hate him so much.
I mean, Edward had the duel with
Yeah,
him,
but-
right? So it's kind of a little more.
yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty
really trust Matter.
realistically, Dallin is far more indifferent to Sir Jaredith than you
Yeah.
guys are.
Sir Edward has
he's not
the
as
actual
suspicious of Darren.
reason. Yeah, Sir Edward has the actual reason. Gartrix is along for the ride.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Dallin-
a reason that's been completely blown out of proportion. Like,
Yeah, he called you a bastard
it's
and
not
fought
as
you in a
simple
duel and
because
won.
of like a side
first of all.
comment.
Yeah, exactly. It
And
was
Dallin
side
is-
comment. Yeah,
And Dallin's the second opinion.
yeah.
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 I get it, of course, but you're saying we shouldn't burn his entire house to its foundations.
I just think maybe it might be a slight overblown reaction for him accidentally crossing in front of you too quickly at the supermarket. I
He was so
understand.
mean about it, though.
I know.
Makes
I'm
you
sure he
feel
was.
it, says Edward as he sharpens his sword. It's got like a painting of Jareth like across from him. He's staring.
Yeah, just covered in slashes with some arrows pointing out.
And I think the way this works out is, it's less. It doesn't mean that you guys aren't suspicious of Jareth. It just means it doesn't like keep you up. It doesn't weigh on you as much. Like, it's what I get the impression of more so with you guys is every time you see him, you just don't trust him. And I think it's a little different than suspicious, which is like you're really worrying about what he's actually up to, in your off time. So
Yeah, we don't lie awake wondering what he's plotting about. If we
Yeah.
see him, we hate him.
yeah.
Oh my god, Jennifer, you saw Sir Jareth?
All right, that brings us down to Dallin's two.
Dallin's
directed.
too. So one of these I'm pretty certain about. The other one I'm gonna ask you about, Bob. So
Mhm.
my first one, for sure, it's gonna be suspicious of Rickard. I love the boy, but but if Liam has not made it clear, I think he's a spy, and Dallin agrees. So
Yeah.
I will roll a d4 for that.
Our poor critical squire.
He's great, and I love him, and also I don't trust him.
Hey.
All right, good. I don't want to get higher on that one. I like the boy. And then the other one. So this is. I know you said people specifically. So perhaps you could direct me to a specific person for this.
Okay.
But I think Dallin is super suspicious of the county of Cornwall right now and their whole everything. Is there a person that you'd prefer me to be suspicious of for that, or can I be suspicious of just the general leadership of those guys?
Well, the
There's
good thing is this is a feudalistic society. So if you're suspicious of them, I think it'd all roll up to Duke Orlois. So
There's also I forgot his name. The jolly one who thought that Sir Dalen liked the Irish.
Robert.
That's the one, I think. But he's not
He
leadership.
is
He's a
kind of
household
not
knight.
from, like, he's close to Cornwall. We've kind of, I think I've said that wrong a couple of times because I think later on, Cornwall, like the place called Gigant becomes part of Cornwall. Right now, it's
Gotcha.
actually your southwestern border is Gigant. So it's like between you
Gotcha.
and Cornwall if you were to try to head that direction. So in that sense, I don't think it'd be Robert because I think actually Dallin actually liked Robert, or at least kind of did. It was like his contact. So I think, do we want to go with? Sorry, Liam. Does the Duke make sense?
Yeah, I think the Duke makes perfect sense. I also was talking too much that time. I was muted. Yeah, I think the Duke makes sense. I love myself some Robert, so I'm glad he's not part of Cornwall. I think the Duke makes perfect sense because it's specifically the Duke that I think Dallin is worried about. So yeah, if that's allowed, I would love to go with that one.
Absolutely. And I'm going to move you guys over just so you can see the South counties page I'm on right now. So that's where Salisbury is versus Gigant.
Gotcha.
Silchester.
Cool. Alrighty.
Yeah.
Rolling my D4.
All right, let's see it.
Another one.
There you go.
Well, it could have been better, but that's
fair.
okay. That's okay. I'm already more suspicious than I am trusting by a decent amount, so we'll see.
I've got to get my trusting back. I need to trust everyone.
It's fair. Well, you do have an opportunity in the future. All right. Let's move on in. We're gonna go to aging, which I think you all just mark your age up 1 year. None of you are 35, so you don't make aging rolls, which is super useful because those are really bad.
Oh yeah.
Still in the prime, baby.
I don't want to lose my size. It's one of the two things going for me.
I'm a 25 now.
Start using rules like this in every game that emulates realism where we're passing through years. So
yeah. Am I the youngest? I'm 23 now.
I think you are. Pretty sure.
I think so. Edward's 24.
Yeah, and Dallin's 25. So.
Alrighty.
Little baby.
Yeah.
Little baby.
Little baby Cortrix.
Big baby.
all right. So that's aging. No one has the babies. Yes.
I'm pretty certain.
Not official ones.
You have unofficial ones.
I don't know. I don't think so.
What's your lustful score? Do any of you? Does any of you have a high? Is it lustful? Is that the trait?
It is lustful.
That would be the trait.
My lustful is 13.
Okay. No one has it at 15 plus.
No, my chaste is 13. So
same with Edward.
No one has it at 15. I'm not gonna force you to make baby rolls.
Great, because people would have probably noticed.
Yes.
That's fair.
You ride so slowly, and your armor seems odd. It's just you wearing like the Onion Knight from Dark Souls.
I had way too much to eat at the last feast, and every feast since for the last 9 months.
Specifically 9 months too. Weird how that works.
Yes, specifically.
Okay, we're gonna skip over. Oh, actually, there is economic circumstances, but I don't think it's gonna matter too much. Let me just see what they are for the year.
A lot of people were robbing Winterbourne Stoke.
Yeah,
this is true.
Part of it.
Yeah.
Every time I come back home, someone else has done it, like whether it be bandits or cultists. So I just bring out my sword and start chasing.
Yeah, just every year now.
One of my horses has been rustled 5 different times. It's beginning to associate like exercise with just being kidnapped and brought back by me.
This isn't going to matter because we're not doing like manor rules yet. It's just worth noting that those who were raided by the bandits and stuff do suffer a bit of economic hardship for the winter. Not the best winter. I'm going to say, Thomas, it results in energetic rolls for Goretrix as being at a -1.
Alrighty,
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
That's still superhuman.
Yeah.
Nothing can keep him down.
That's the bonus of
Yes.
having a high energy.
Yeah.
The other thing is it something that would represent like being grumpy?
Maybe the opposite of maybe I don't want to say cruel, selfish.
Yeah. Well, what is your cruel versus your not cruel right now?
My cruel versus merciful. Merciful is 11. Cruel is 9.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to result in a cruel of +1, an energetic of +1, and
Energetic of -1.
energetic --1. Sorry. Cruel of +1 and indulgent of +1. You're more likely to just actually indulgent of +5. And we're gonna go.
Jesus.
You are hungry. You have not eaten well this winter. You've had to go out.
We had to sell some
yourself.
horses. I nearly ate a horse. But I just ate an elk instead.
You're really looking forward to this winter feast, or this Easter feast, rather.
Should I adjust it on my sheet, or just remember it for now? How permanent is this?
Temporary, super temporary. I would put it in under either your motto or somewhere where you'll remember it.
I'll put it in the Discord.
Yeah, that works. I'll probably remember too, because it's only going to apply to like the next couple episodes. Sorry, I should specify. It's only going to apply to this episode, because once you eat at the feast, assuming you don't starve yourself arbitrarily for some kind of fast you're doing or something like that, you're going to recover from it.
Goretrix, devote yourself to temperance and pray with me instead of eating. And it's just Goretrix, like just looking with puppy dog eyes towards the bishop. All right, energetic -1, indulgent +5, and cruel with +1.
Yeah. It all spawns from just a rough year, when someone's on edge, like you're just not helping well with the winter. I've
had a bad time, but I'm here to party.
Okay, we're gonna do. One sec. Is there anything any of you are aiming to do with your family members as far as directing them?
I have one. I have one, and he's my uncle, and managing administrative affairs, and we don't really talk. And of course, a cousin who's my primary character.
Yeah, who is still? Do you remember where he's located?
Yeah, I do. Newton Manor.
Yeah. Just checking.
Shit, where's my uncle?
Perrin's not home. I'd like to see what my mother is kind of up to right now. Because I was kind of considering inviting her to the feast. And a big part of that is because Dallin has no friends. other than present company, like
you got a lot of suitors for Elizabeth. Does that count?
Most of them 50 plus. Yeah.
Your mom will attend, but she does warn you that it's becoming increasingly harder to put by. Like even the Count has made a recent inquiry about when Elizabeth is going to start attending feasts and events, right? Because she's
Oh.
past the age where someone being betrothed would be common, and in fact, she's into, the age of marriage at this point. So
I think the play that we make is that the thing that I've been telling people is that she's been taken with serious bouts of illness. I think that's the story you continue to present for the time being, and
Okay.
we will figure that out when it
Cool.
is absolutely necessary. I'm gonna go throw up real fast, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Noted. All right, so on to training and practice. You get to do one of the following. You get to add a d6 plus 1 to any skill up to a 15. You can add 1 point to any skill up to a 20. So in other words, you'd only do that second point if the first point, like if it's over 15, or if it's 15, and if you're going from 15 to 16 or greater, you're stuck at adding 1 point. If you're lower than 15, add the d6 plus 1. And then finally, you can increase an attribute, trait, or passion by 1. You only get to do one of those 3 things.
I have a question.
Mhm.
At the moment, my love of family is at a 19. If I were to increase it, it would get to 20, and I could invoke my passion all the time with potentially no negative results. That sounds like power gaming. Should I do it?
So there is still a failure condition on that. I can't remember what it
Yeah.
is, though. So, um,
I'm gonna leave it
okay.
because I like the idea of a critical failure just fucking my day up.
Makes sense. Yeah, I'd leave it at 19 for now.
Yeah.
I think actually it might say trait max 19 and passion max 20. It does say passion max 20.
Gotcha.
I know there is still a critical, like a failure point to it. I just don't recall what it is.
Is there a failure point if it's at 20? I just thought
I
it's
think
a
for
matter of
passion
degree.
specifically.
I could take a look.
And then we're using the new rules for passions, which I don't have readily available. Why don't you leave
I
it at
just
19 for now? If
Yeah.
you want to raise it later, it makes sense. But I'd throw it into something else.
I think I do know what I'm gonna put it into. I think I'm gonna put it into sword.
Oh, I'm getting your guys' cameras are frozen. Give me a sec.
Oh.
No.
Oh yeah. It's got me with my eyes slightly shut and my mouth open. Lovely.
Now they're gone. That's solid. Hello.
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 No.
We're moving. Oh, we stopped moving.
Yeah, give me a sec. We're
No.
gonna we need to invoke the technical difficulty downs here. This is
The
not
Passion
fixing itself.
Lords.
It's temporarily fixing itself.
What was
When I raise my, like when I put my Discord in focus, which I can't do successfully while running the game.
It seems to be Oh yeah, and then it stopped. Yeah, I see what you
Yeah,
mean.
the moment I
Yeah.
pull Discord
Oh
off.
yeah. That's strange.
Actually, we're good now. I just can't minimize it. As long as it's behind, it doesn't matter. So, fun. Okay, so
So sorry, real fast. How many was it for skills again? How many points do we have to
if
distribute
it's
among
under
skills?
15, it's 1d6 plus 1 to any skills. So
Gotcha.
you
Any
get
one skill.
nope.
Oh, all?
Yep. You get a pool of 1 plus 1d6 to
Yeah.
any skills under 15.
Up to
Hmm.
15. So
Up to
you
15.
can distribute them amongst them.
Yeah.
It's so you can't
Right.
have 14 and then just jump up suddenly.
So I'm rolling 1d6, and that's how many points plus 1 I have to distribute. That's
Yeah.
right.
Amongst skills that aren't 15 yet.
Gotcha.
It's a way of
I thought it
fast
was
climbing.
just the one. This is.
I misread
that's
it that way
confusing.
previously as well, but you'll note that there's a S in
Yeah.
parentheses.
So once it hits 15, I got to stop leveling it. Yes.
Yeah. Once it hits 15, you have to raise it the other way, which is you only get to add one once per season kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool.
And it's an or, so you can't do both in the same season.
Yeah. All right. Well, I will spend 1 on getting my intrigue up to 15, 1 getting my awareness up to 15, and
A lot of sense for Dallin to go that
yeah,
route.
I
This is what's
believe
interests
so
him. So
as well. We haven't done a tournament yet, but I feel like a tournament would be pretty smart to invest a point or
Hmm.
two into.
tournaments are just less common in this era. That's why it hasn't been emphasized. Like by the time you get to Arthur's era, they're like everywhere.
Yeah, they'll be all the time. All right. Well, then, I think honestly, everything else that I want is either already at 15 or higher, except for courtesy. So I think I'll put my last 2 into courtesy and bring me up to 13 there, and I won't level up any of my stuff that's a 15.
Okay, sounds good.
And then it was one across all the passions, or was that all the passions or a skill? It's 15 or higher.
Yeah, so you only get to do one of these things. So once you do 1d6
Gotcha.
plus 1, it's only a pool
Gotcha.
of skills that you can raise.
All
The
right.
other options are you can raise any skill that's 15 or above
Gotcha.
up by 1, and then the third option is increase an attribute trait or passion by 1. So options 2 and
Gotcha.
3 are basically the same thing.
Gotcha.
Except for
Figure.
3 is, even if it's, if your strength is 12 or 9 or 7, it still costs you like your whole
Yeah, just
winter
1.
phase.
Gotcha. I was wondering. That's what was confusing me, is why there's a division, but that makes sense. That tracks. Okay, cool. Then I guess I'm done.
With the 1d6 plus 1 thing, does that include combat skills as well?
It
If it
does
is
not
the 15,
specify
yes.
no, so yes, as long as it's not a 15 or
Under
above.
15.
Yep.
In that case, I might do the 1d6 plus 1 thing, so I can increase a lot of the stuff that I'm missing. I want to be better at sword, but 17's fine, and I need to be better at battle. All right, so
That's
I'm
fair.
Gonna roll?
make some rolls then. This
All we
is
like is
battle.
money.
No, you're
Which
just
is
rolling a
up-
d6, so that's 4 plus 1, so you get 5 points you can add to a pool
Yep.
of things.
Oh, to a pool of things?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not for each
So
specific skill.
that roll right there that you
Oh.
did would be
Yeah.
4 plus 1, and then you take that and you apply it to, as a pool, you get 5 points now to apply.
Got you.
Yeah.
So does
In
that change
case-
your mind? Like, not getting the reroll again, but it's clear
Yeah.
that you did misunderstand that rule. So
I did misunderstand
yeah.
that. However, I would be fine with bringing my battle up to 15.
Grub.
So with that in mind, I think I'm happy with my choice. I can always increase sword later, and I will.
Okay.
I am putting 1 whole point in sword.
Damn you.
Sword 19.
Makes
Gonna be
sense.
the best swordsman in the land.
I
I
like
can't wait to see you to eventually have a falling out and duel to the death. That's gonna be so fun.
I hope not. That would
What
hurt
are you
our
preparing for?
Yeah.
No, that would.
I'm preparing for the day that I fall out with everyone I might meet, and then must do battle with them with sword canes atop a clock tower.
Okay.
I
So
think we skipped over Edward's family stuff, but I don't really have anything to add for that. He's got too many family members.
okay.
For Christ's sake.
Wanna lend me some?
You are coming in a little quiet to me.
Sure.
Or is that
Oh.
you know what? We turned your mic down the last time, didn't we?
That might be it. Don't turn it up too much. I might be too loud. And sometimes I get loud. I might just be quiet.
He's been sounding okay to me. I've been checking in on the audio every once in a while on the stream, and he's been seeming pretty
Okay.
fine to me.
Is he coming in a bit robotic to you guys too?
No, not to
Slightly.
me.
No. Okay. Just sounds like that slightly.
Is it on your end?
Could be, but it's only your voice, so that doesn't make a lot.
Oh, that's
It,
weird.
it could be either or. Australian internet is a figment of a collective imagination,
That's fair.
so
No,
it could be anything.
they're saying it sounds good, so we can leave it.
Alright.
Thanks, Serpentine.
Much appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
Calculate glory. Yay! So we're on to like the end points here. So this is fun. So you get to add all the glory from play, from your solo scenes, including that last feast. Did I give you guys your glory for the battle? Did I give you the glory?
Yes, you did. You gave us 105, I think.
105? What?
I just got 100.
Maybe.
Yeah, I just got 100.
I think
as
I'm
well.
missing information.
Oh, I got 5 glory from one of the things that I did.
Right.
It was because I carried the drunk guy.
Ugh, what a
Ah,
glorious,
that's
So
what a
100.
glorious
So
victory.
I think
And
we have 100.
and 10
that's
times the
something else I
geniality that you got for last feast, which is
Oh,
40 for which is 4 for Dalen, 4 for Edward, and 6 for Goratrix.
40. Is there anything else we got glory for that last year?
I
Did we do
don't-
anything else?
If we did, I think we added it to our total already.
Okay.
2, 8.
What did we do last year during the
So it was the
We
battle in
conquered-
Bedegrain?
events?
Yeah, we conquered Peregrine.
Oh, did it? I didn't give you guys any
What did
glory
we get
at
for
all.
that? I think we didn't get glory for that. Yeah,
We
we didn't get
did
glory.
we? Didn't
I don't
we?
think we
Okay.
did.
I don't remember.
Which? Sorry, what?
I don't.
In that case, let me take a quick look.
What are you talking about?
The big battle with
King Bedegrain?
yeah, I'm not sure
Yeah.
if we did get glory for that.
Is this the Battle of Nehenwena?
Battle of Bedegrain.
Bedegrain.
What's this one that I'm putting into chat?
I can't see chat.
Got you.
One sec. Let me check my phone.
Nah.
Gesundheit.
I have no idea what that is. One sec, let me see. Maybe you recorded it wrong?
Maybe.
Here, let me just look up the Battle of Bedegrain's glory.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that word's not showing up on Google either.
I'm almost positive we did do glory for that battle because it wasn't as massive of a battle. So if you had like 100 and 105, that would have been for sure the Bedegrain War, right? Because it's like a minor battle, right? Versus
I'm super cozy, just like taking none for it right now and assuming we got some, and then I can listen back to the stream for that.
well, I know
episode.
it was like 6 rounds. I think we fleshed it out as.
We were in Maddox's
7 rounds.
like
7 rounds.
That's a different one. That was the one that Thomas just posted in chat. Numina. I think that was the one.
Yeah, 15 times 7 would be 105.
That was last year.
So that was Bedegrain. You've only been in 2 battles. Yeah. The Battle of
I think I
Bedegrain.
forgot to add that to my this
half?
game glory.
Oh, we'll see how it goes.
You had 2 feasts in that year. Plus the Battle of Bedegrain, plus our little journey into the forest. And that's been like the whole year.
Indeed.
But there were long pauses.
Might have
between-
added incorrectly.
Got you. No,
Yeah.
this thing was actually quite short, the one we're talking about. We killed 2 poor knights, 1 rich knight, 1 mercenary knight, and 2 rich knights on horses. This was the one that I think you were talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much glory that is, or who was fighting whom.
So if you did 7 rounds, I just calculated your glory. It's 105 glory for 7 rounds of Battle of Bedegrain.
Got you. Alright, so I
you're-
added...
How much was it again?
Oh, hold on. Hold on. Let me just do the math here. This will be our call on the fly. So 15 per round. There will go 7 rounds, so 105.
I'm pretty sure we got 7 rounds for... Okay, which one was this? Was this
There
the
were
one...
2
that
battles in this game, period, so far, right?
Yeah. And
That's
the
it.
first one was the one against Passions, which lasted for 7 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the second one lasted 2 rounds, which was the battle against... I forget, but we conquered the English king.
You're right. Okay.
Pettigrew.
Pettigrew.
Very
Yeah.
good. That lasted, I think, 2 rounds. Because that's what I recorded. It's possible I missed
Yes,
stuff.
2 rounds.
Let me just see,
It was-
because battle
The
would have been...
negotiations were short. Yeah.
Yes.
Wasn't much of a negotiation. Exactly.
Much of a battle. Yeah.
Yeah, round 2. That's what it says on my screen too. Okay, so let me just do the calculations now. So if we look at... Okay, so 15 per round times... 15 per round times 2, so 30. Times 2 for a decisive victory, 60. Times 0.5. Or, oops. 15 times 2 times 2 times 0.5, not 0. Or not 0.05. So 30 for that battle.
Radio.
Alright.
Which is for me 2989.
And then you get to add 30 for the or 50. I'm going to give you 50 for this for the shoot forest. It's not really a battle, but they called it like the quest for the abbey, right?
Did we not?
I think you already... Yeah, you already gave us 100 glory for that.
Okay, perfect.
And not that I'm opposed to more glory,
No,
but...
no. If you got
Yeah.
100, then we'll leave that. That's perfect.
All right. So now we update the
Okay.
total.
Now you update the total. And you, just to make sure, I know Thomas did this, but just for Mark and Liam, please make sure that you add your glory in from your cards and stuff from the very last feast. Evan as well.
I don't
Right?
think I got
Did I
mine.
have
you got geniality.
Yeah,
So
genealogy
remember
turns
to
in.
add- yeah, turns into 10 glory.
Oh, nice. Each? How many did I get?
I don't think I had any.
You got 4, you got 4.
I got
So
4.
40
Yeah, we
each.
both got 4.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Cool.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure you guys covered that.
I was not
Okay.
going to, so I appreciate it.
Just one thing, because spotty memory. Somewhere you said 50 in addition to the rest of the stuff, or was that what you were planning on giving us for the
Shoot
battle in the
forest.
thing?
That was for the
Gotcha.
the forest thing.
I'm resting
So-
where I am. Everything's good.
Okay, I think
I'm at 2565.
I'm at 2585 now.
Okay.
2989.
Exciting.
I am so close to 3 glory and the ability to pick 3 cards.
Okay, and then
3,000, rather.
I think there's one thing we did miss, which is we have some people that are older, right?
Dallin is 25.
And that's the difference between Dallin and her youngest knight, which is Gortrix, is 2 years.
Seen it?
Yeah, because you're 23 now?
Yep.
Then yeah, 2 years.
Give me 1 sec.
Aye,
book-
Captain.
In the Book of Sires, it has like a little math piece for slightly older knights. So give me 1 sec.
I would say 2 years does qualify as slightly older.
Yep.
But I mean, I'm
Oh, and also I don't think
I'm
too.
like a third larger, so I'm not sure how that works there. If I like more of me aged.
Also,
What is your size?
Jalen.
18.
18. Yeah, I'm 13.
Yeah,
You're
he's a
much
big boy.
larger.
What were you going to say, Mark?
sitting pretty at full. Just for a reminder, Sir Dalen, I think we need to up the age of our squires. Yes.
Yes, you're right.
They
Yeah,
age at the rate
we'll
of
get to
1 year
that.
per year.
You all update anyone who has squires. You update it by 1. And still, Mark, do you want to try just dropping out and jumping back in real quick? Your voice is super robotic on my end.
It's breaking up a little bit for
Yeah.
me, but
It's just to the point where it's like it doesn't sound like it's his mic.
it sounds internet-y.
Yo, this
Make a long, unbroken noise.
long unbroken noise.
Yeah, I'm getting the breaking up too.
That was pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well, there is nothing I can do about that.
Yeah.
You sound
Oh.
fine there. You sounded fine there.
It might
Poor
just be a
friend.
mixture. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure when you get to like your in character stuff, you're not as.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get you to reboot, but that's like a few minutes, so it could be a pain in the butt there.
And then Windows will.
Well, I mean,
will try
there's-
to press getting his computer to update.
Yeah. Well, the only thing I can do is reset my computer because I can't reset the router because I don't have access to it.
Right. It might be. I mean,
University internet. It's not great.
turn off your camera for a couple, just real quick. Sorry for the technical
See if I
difficulties, folks, but we're gonna figure this out. When I put the video
camera
on
off.
YouTube, I'll try to skip this part so we have a bookmark for it.
Yeah.
Say
Incidentally,
something
you
long and
can-
unbroken now.
Okay. Well, maybe my computer's just gonna be like this whenever I turn on the camera.
Yeah.
But hopefully it should be fine if I turn it on now in a way where it's still continuous and hopefully not getting worse.
It's not getting
It was
worse.
quite a bit of slowdown.
It was definitely cleaner with the camera off, but we can leave
Yeah.
it for now. It might be
Yeah.
worth a reboot before we play. Sometimes, so I know for my older
Yeah.
computer, I need to reboot. Like I literally reboot is before I start this stream, because otherwise I'm gonna risk like performance issues.
It's probably slow down. There's probably a few things
Oh.
I can close.
Why don't
In
you
the
do a
stream
quick
for a short
reboot?
time, I became Mark.
Yeah, why don't you do a quick, if you don't mind, why don't you do a quick reboot?
Sure.
And then I'll explain to the folks what we're doing here real quick. Anyway.
Okay.
So we're gonna catch up. This is something that's been on my mind now that I realized that these two are a little older. It's like that doesn't. Those are years you're not going to be as relevant, and years that matter isn't they, right? So even if you didn't do much,
Yeah.
I'd rather know what they
Okay.
did.
I am off for you guys a bit.
See you.
See ya, Mark. Godspeed.
I adore you.
All right, I'll go to weird camera mode, and then fix myself.
Yeah, Liam is now Bob. I am Mark, and Bob is me.
Hey guys, just wanted to tell you that bad guys are coming for you, and you gotta defend yourself.
The voice in my head? You're STing me now? Yes, let's see. Oh, that is weird camera mode. Ooh.
Yeah. And it's got frozen marks. So that's perfect.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to. I
have
can't even
him-
find the thing to shut his camera off. So
You can probably disconnect him as the.
oh yeah. good
You can
idea.
also maybe like right click and disable video. There we go.
There. Now the only one that looks weird is Liam's, and you can't see his face anyway. So we're good to go.
Yeah.
Sup?
Yeah, I was working on this, so this is a bit of a constructed mode where I was working on big camera mode for scenes where we lose someone. I never did finish this apparently, so that's why it looks so awful.
Hey, it looks nice.
Yeah, we've cut Liam in half.
I'm dying.
Die quieter.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm gonna get Liam to make a couple of rolls for me here.
Yeah.
We get to the right years. Yeah, we're gonna roll up
Hell
your
yeah.
character, what they did in the 2 years before 480.
Oh, okay.
'Cause
Okay.
I found that in the books. It's super cool.
Fuck
The
yeah.
mark.
Hey, Mark.
Mark.
Back and hopefully better. If not, nothing I can do about it.
It
Perfect.
seems better to me so
Rod-
far.
Roger that. Yeah, it sounds good. Okay, so we're just gonna roll twice for Liam and once for you, Mark.
Alright.
These are gonna be rolls for what you were up to the year before, years like leading up to 480. So
Yeah.
since you were active knights, so 478. Why don't you?
Yes.
I'm just thinking with Dallin. Dallin's is a little more unique than the other folks.
Yeah.
So you said
Yeah.
Take your
Dallin
time.
sailed with the High King's fleet, gained 20 glory,
All right.
lost at sea.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Ooh.
All right. Was lost at sea. Give me. Hopefully some glory. Probably not.
Actually, we're gonna get you to roll. Give me a d20 roll, and roll till you get a 16 plus.
Oh dear.
Oh
Okay.
boy.
1.
Keep rolling.
That's 2. 3.
Not great so far. There we go.
4. And
Hey!
before you got it.
18.
18. Okay, so you sailed the High King's fleet, gained 20 glory for destroying Saxon ships.
Cool.
Fuck Saxons.
Fuck
Okay.
the Saxons.
And then you're fighting against the Saxon raids. So that was, give me a d20 roll, and it has to be a 3 or higher, because you didn't die in battle.
Yes.
Oh, good.
You die.
It's a 4.
Okay. Survived.
Oh,
Wow.
thank God.
Wow.
You just hear like children who they're telling the story to. They're like, "Did you die? Yes,
Yes.
but I lived."
That's it.
But I lived.
So let's see what you got for glory for fighting against the Saxon raids. Give me a d6
Cool.
roll.
I like glory. 6. Oh, I just slash 1d6 ain't gonna do nothing for me. There you go. 2.
Okay. So you got 20 glory for that one too, on top of your previous 20. That's just
Nice.
like your battle roll kind of thing.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, now you sailed with the fleet. This is
It's a different fleet.
this is the events for 479. This is after you dealt with the Saxons. You brought it over to Frisia,
Yeah.
which is where they're from, right? To
Mm.
basically counterattack. And this is the one led by Aurelius.
Mm.
So
Old High King.
actually, you don't get to roll because if you sailed with the fleet in 478, so for Dallin, you just get the highest roll possible. Actually,
nice.
sorry. Roll a d20 and add 20.
Oh, all right.
Oh.
For Edward, it's just roll a d20 because it's your first year as a knight.
Okay.
That's gonna be a 28. No, a
38.
38.
19.
Very good. I think.
19. You stayed home and fought against the Saxon raids.
Good.
No, not you. Sorry, I should specify.
I know, but
Edward
yeah,
did.
For Edward, that's good for him. He
Oh.
likes that.
Fred
He
was
likes
at the
fighting
holiday.
Saxons. Does he get anything from it, or is that
You do. Roll a d20. You need to get higher than 1 or a 2.
okay?
If you don't re-roll.
12.
Survived. Now you roll a d6 and we'll see what kind of glory you got for that.
Brilliant. 4.
You got 40. You got 40.
Hey.
glory.
Ooh.
And 38 was my number, Mark.
Yeah.
No, Bob, not
Yeah,
Mark.
I got it.
Mark,
I
Mark.
hear what you're saying.
That information is not relevant
I
to
acknowledge
you.
your role.
So, Battle of Frisia, roll a d20. Don't get a 1 or 2.
Okay, I'll do my best.
Sorry, if you get a 1 or 2, you get to re-roll because you're lucky.
I'm
Here.
still alive. I'm not dead.
Don't
We create
die.
a time paradox.
It's a 15.
Okay, you survived. So now give me a d6 roll.
Great. Keep typing /1d6. Roll 1d6. Bam. 4.
It seems to be the number of the day.
120 glory for that one.
Ooh. Wow.
Not bad.
Yeah.
Is that for the 30? Is that count like? Is that related to the 36 roll?
Yes.
38.
Very nice. Okay. 126. You said?
100. What did I say? No, it wasn't an uneven number. It
It was,
120.
100, it was just 120 then.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I think.
30, 69. Yeah, it's 30 times 4. So
All right.
My cat's down on the floor, and I can't show you it because the floor is messy because of the cat. There's fur everywhere.
all right. So with those new numbers, let's go ahead and get what is everyone's glory now. 'Cause that's very important. What are our totals for glory?
Mine has not changed. It is at 2989.
Edward is at 2605.
And Dallin is at 2746.
Yeah.
All right. I'm actually surprised we didn't cross 3,000 there. But we wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Um,
If I like fight one peasant, I'm pretty sure I'll get up there.
Here's my question though for Liam and Mark, who are quite a ways behind Thomas. Did they include their geniality translated into glory for the feast before, like the Easter
Yeah,
feast?
did you do that every time?
Yeah, because 480 Easter, we did for sure
think so.
in the original, like the first year. I made
Yeah,
Thomas
Yeah.
like Thomas was actually kind of like not only keeping track, but like we were doing it on stream. Did we do that this time?
Did.
I
pretty
honestly
sure-
don't remember.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure I did, but
let
I
me
didn't
ask
get
this.
a lot of geniality. I only got 2, I think.
Let me
so-
ask this a different way just to check. Thomas, how much glory did you gain this year? This will be with eyeballs.
105 plus 60, 165.
Total for the whole year?
For last session. I'm not sure what I got beforehand. I've been adding it this game, then adding it to my thing.
Okay. Don't add till the end of the year. That's when your new
Gotcha.
glory comes in. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's okay. I'm just curious because there's a big gap. There's like a 300, 400 gap
I
here
know
with the
the-
extra years.
The reason was because
Family
Gortrick
stuff, right?
started with a lot. Yeah, he had
Yeah.
the most of us at the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah,
Just
make-
family
I just want to
law.
make
Yeah.
sure we have that like logged a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe in the future when we do give you glory, if we can tag off what people are getting glory for, if for nothing more. You know what I'll do is I'll create a glory tally. Let me do that. No, I'm not going to do it now on Discord, but I'll add an actual channel for a glory tally, and then that way Thomas
Yeah.
can just, if Thomas is still willing to, he can just add logs at the end of each event where I dish out glory, and we have a nice clear trail that no one types anything else into, and we're good to go.
That
So-
sounds
Perfectly fine with
very
me.
clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
Yeah.
very clear.
Awesome.
Sounds
Not
good.
worried. I just want to make sure that you guys aren't like super slow. But it makes sense. The battle you were in was 2 rounds, so minimal,
Yeah,
right?
Mm.
And we
it
didn't
ended
even
very
slay,
quickly.
We didn't
Yeah.
even slay a massive political figure this time. So like, what's even
Yeah.
the point?
We'll do it next time. We'll
do it
start a
next
war
time.
to do it. We've already killed a cultist of a great old one, so
All right. And just, I believe you become notable knights at 3,000 glory, which is your next
Yes.
threshold, and that gives you an extra
very
point you can
close.
add to an attribute, trait, passion, or skill.
We're very
Ooh.
close.
Yeah.
Nice.
So,
I'm
That-
400 away, but yeah.
That means we still don't get +1s though, which I'm okay with because Adeline doesn't have anybody to invite.
Neither does Gordrix.
I don't know
He has a
who
lot of
Edward would
horses.
invite.
Yeah.
You three are literally my only friends.
Yeah.
It really is that kind of a 3 people you go to a party with, and you're like, is there anyone else I would invite? Nah, I'm good.
The issue is, I think we've all made friends, but they're all like really high above our station.
Yeah.
Like we all have Prince Madoc. I have
yeah.
Sibelius.
Sir
man.
Anwar.
You know what would be
Yeah.
such a power move? All 3 of us invite Jaredith. Like, hey, you know, we're not sure if you can get into this party on your own, but if you want to come, you can come as our +1.
Just to mess with him.
And such a slap on the face too when it's his count as well.
Yeah.
Hey, just want to know, you can come to this court session in Sarum if you want.
If you want, yeah. We're giving you permission. Oh, that'd be so fun. We'd get Doolittle for that, though.
Okay.
But I could beat him this time.
So, I you guys were talking about it a bit, but just to let everyone in, we're going to be doing a short feast. This one's going to be a little less focused on the cards, as we talk about some of the intrigue and other things. I did want to check and see, so did anyone have any specific guests? I know you guys were talking about it. I was reading something at the time, so I apologize.
I believe you said that it was notable knights that we're allowed to invite.
It's okay. I'm going to let you invite anyways. I was making it, I was inventing a fake reason why you could invite, but your reason is you're from Salisbury and you're a knight here.
All right. Darling Mother is my vote. I got nobody else.
Okay. A good one.
I got nobody. There is my uncle who I am on bad terms with, and my cousin who is my primary character, and I'd be playing me both.
Could invite Jared.
I could invite Jared, but no. Gordrix at the moment, he's a lonely boy.
I mean, Edward might. Well, here's a question: is Anwar, is he available? Or is he already as someone to invite?
Yeah, he would be. You could invite him.
Alright. I think Edward would, because the only other person he invite is like his uncle. I don't know. All like his brothers are younger than him and are not yet knights. So yeah.
Yeah, so Anwar typically travels to the royal feast, but that's just out of habit, being welcomed and going there. If he receives an invite from someone he's acquaintance with, he'll come. And then we had, did we ever give a face to Dallin's mom? I bet you we didn't.
Not a picture, I don't think.
No,
I don't believe we have.
We'll get that for the
I've only had
future.
one scene with her.
Yeah, which is also not great, but that's only in the sense of I want to make sure you guys get some time. These are the side characters, so it doesn't matter as much.
All right, Kitty.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and we've got the feast set up now. Jareth is here. Surprise, surprise. You've got the three, or the two squires sitting down at the bottom there. Back to round one, and we're going to determine where the three of you are sitting for this 2-round feast. This is Count Roderick. This is Sarum. And this is the Easter feast.
Let's roll appearance. I think I'm due a fumble.
Oh,
a success.
Available for you to see.
As close to a crit too. Yeah.
That's a success.
We're all above the salt. Or rather, near the salt. Sorry.
Oh, praise the Lord.
Yeah.
Praise the Lord.
Hey, you're near the salt. These are good. These are good because they give you glory too. So not skipping
Yes,
pieces.
one geniality every round.
All right.
Where are the feast rules in the book, out of curiosity?
They're in the Book of Feast, which is an entire own book.
Oh, Jesus.
Did you want to see what your options were? Is that what you were looking
mostly, yeah.
Yeah,
I want
okay.
to have like an idea of what I could do.
at? I was gonna pull
Other
that
than
ahead of
just-
time and forgot to. So give me a second.
Yeah.
I'll get that.
Or go.
I'm gonna take a screen
Just
cap
tell me
of
what
it.
I can do.
Yeah.
What I can do instead of just fucking around and finding out.
My
Sorry.
favorite kind, though.
Gonna redo this here. Apologies.
No worries.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, good.
This
having a
this
great
has been it's been like a less, I've had better pacing in sessions, but that's okay. My fault.
It's going to be the case with Winter Phase for a lot of stuff.
So we can get
Yeah.
to it, right?
Bookkeeping.
Also,
Yeah.
Thomas,
Ah.
the chat has told us that you should say hi to Lily and that they love her. I don't know if
It's
you
a good
already
Hi, Lily. The universe loves
Mhm.
you.
a good filler. You want to bring Lily up? This is gonna be the Lily moment. Our fifth
Lily-
streamer.
I already did a little bit ago.
That's true.
Or rather, I brought the computer over to Lily because Lily wouldn't have appreciated the other way around. She abuses me.
Lift that cat. Lift that cat.
I can't lift that cat. If the cat, she'll get mad at me.
You know what? We'll do
But
something.
no, I probably.
Nothing. Go ahead.
I could probably do it, but she's resting right now. I'm scared of my cat.
Okay, that's why we didn't list this before. I think is because it doesn't. Oh, Notable Knights is 4,000. So never mind. You're nowhere near notable. You are.
Nowhere near.
You're all respected knights right now, though, at 2,000.
Hell yeah.
So.
Alright.
So your options involve gossip, indulge, flirt, or game. I can guess what Gortrix is doing for one of his options.
I've got a feast. I've got to indulge. I am indeed indulgent. Where did the feast stuff go? Where? Here we go. Feast overview.
So gossips, obviously, you engage in chatter with those nearby. Indulgent is indulges you. It's more about drinking and overeating. If you botch a roll on that, it can lead to you basically overindulging and things getting messy.
Is the bishop here?
No, he's not. Not the Bishop of
Good.
Look
London.
him
Yeah.
right in the eye as you bite into an apple.
Suspicious.
No,
Yeah.
not an apple. It's gonna be full on like leg of pork.
Just a fucking leg of ham.
Do you see me now?
Oh man. Give me that ham. I want that ham.
Okay, yeah,
In real
and
life.
the gaming skill obviously is used for the gaming piece, and you can bet and stuff like that. Let me give you a couple of pieces that are interesting to this particular feast. And we'll start with a basic intrigue roll from all of you to see whether or not you get this. You can add +5 to your skill because you're at home.
Oh, very nice.
I do not think this will help me. Oh, it did!
Yeah.
Success.
And
+5, you say? Ooh.
to
I
shred.
think that's basically in order.
Yeah,
All right.
Hell yeah!
we got it.
Woo!
I hope you guys appreciate that.
Your what?
I hope you guys
Yes.
appreciate my that. That's it. That was the whole sentence.
I do appreciate your that. I've always appreciate your that, man.
You're so good at appreciating my that. Thank you.
So there is a bit of chatter at court. Rumors have it that the King of Summerland is the most recent defiant king that has not bent the knee to Uther, and there's rumors of a potential muster for this spring coming into this.
Another war again.
Yep.
I mean, it'll probably be good to fight, an actual war, do our knightly duty. It's been a while, and I haven't been grievously injured in months.
There is also talk of Count Roderick and how he is still not married and not with heir yet, which is a problem.
I mean, you'd think for a... as Gortrick speaks, he, looks towards, Edward first, and then Sir Dalen, and then, looks very speculatively back at Sir Roderick, but then he notices the beard and, how he'd have to have pretended to be a knight for nigh on 40 years now. Shakes his head. No, it's nothing.
Just to set a bit of the context, too, for this, King Aurelius's march, which was basically the whole land in turmoil, only ended 2 years ago. Then the king died, and King Uther's been conquesting ever since that started.
Yeah.
So it isn't exactly the most stable of times for the realm in any way, shape, or form. There are a lot of kings and a lot of knights, as your families know, that are heirless or have one heir or have no knights as heirs, right?
Been there.
Yeah.
They're even
hate to be in that position.
there are even noble families that don't have a knight to their house, right? So they'd have.
I swear, I'll need to consult with my cousin, but I think we can adopt some of yours. We may.
All right.
I mean, why not?
So round one, I'm not going to take cards off the table. If you've really got nothing that your characters would do, cards is an option. But just to remember, there is gaming, there is intrigue. There's the Count himself. There's Sir Elad, who's the marshal, right, of the land. There are all three of the folks who are along with you. There's your favorite person, Jareth. Anwar's here.
Just hear the sting of a Spanish soap opera.
And Anwar is from Glevum, by the way. Can't remember. We looked it up where that was. I don't remember where Glevum is right now. And then there is another face here. I'll get all three of you to give me there's a recognize roll, right?
Yeah.
So
recognize.
Recognize at +5 or heraldry flat.
I am slightly better at that.
I'm not good at either, so I'm gonna
Much better at
do
heraldry.
recognize.
Yeah, not good enough though.
Failure. Hard failure.
Oh.
Ooh.
Fumble! I don't know who the fuck this guy is.
So you're not sure who he is. He's sitting not above the salt. Actually, he is above the salt. He's not at the proper table with Count Roderick and Sir Elad, but he's within some of the knights that are a bit the notable knights. Those are the crowd he's hanging out with. So, and worth noting that all three of the knights that were on the forest quest with you guys were notable knights. So they're all 4,000 plus knights.
Okay.
Yeah, they were handy.
All right, so we're gonna start. There's not a clear direction of who goes first here. Actually, there is. It's by glory. So I think it was Gortrix. Was Edward or Dalen the higher glory?
Dalen.
Dalen. Edward's the lowest.
Glories of being a bastard, right?
Yeah.
All right, so Goratrix, your turn first. Do you want me to
So,
give you the list again, or what to?
yes, please. I believe I know what I'm going to do, but give me the gorge option.
Yeah.
What does that
Indulge.
entail? Yes.
Basically, the quote for it is "More ale, more mutton, more I say."
More.
Yeah.
Another.
You may earn. Basically, characters who drink and eat in excess this round may earn the esteem of their host. Roll your choice of temperate or indulgent. In the former case, you're making sure everyone else has enough to eat
Oh.
and drink, right? And you're on self-denial mode. On success, you gain a check on the relevant trait. If you fumble temperate or fail indulgent, you have overindulged on the drink and run risk of public drunkenness.
All right. It is more in character for me to roll temperate.
Normally,
he is
but I
good
will specify
dad,
your
but
current situation.
Yes, the current situation where I have been hungry a lot. A lot of the money that would have gone into like food for the Lord has been spread out to the various villages around because they've suffered as well. They don't have walls, and they too have been raided. I am going to roll indulgent
And
with the plus
give
5
me a
bonus.
check for generous if that's what you did. If that's why you're hungry, is you spread out the
full on.
limited food you have.
Yeah, there would 100% probably be food, money enough for food if it were just, me, all mine.
Yeah.
But others suffered as well. Let's roll indulgent with a plus 5 as I eat at a person who has a positive treasury for the first time in a while. Let's do it. Success.
Hey.
All right.
You guys immediately see as Sir Goratrix sits down, he's like, excuse me, as he just scoops a large portion of the meat. There's a steaming, pig thing that you see there, and he, reaches in and not even carving.
What a hungry boy.
Oh, you have no idea.
Okay, so you didn't fumble temperate, and that's indulgent, and that's the only worry. So you are drinking, you are eating. The drink's obviously very good for calories as well, right? So this is by the end of tonight, you'll have those penalties and I guess those applications of those turned away from you. And I will give you one geniality as you actually have this guy with the face. He comes by. You notice this specifically as you look up. You see him pass up towards Count Roderick. He is Roderick's cupbearer. That becomes very obvious.
Gotcha.
And he smiles at you as you come back, and he says, "The Count has noticed your appetite. He'd like to thank you for showing, basically a way of saying being so interested in his food. It looks good, right? If someone's like, "Oh, this is delicious,"
exactly.
and right, so it's that sort
It's
of thing.
truly remarkable. My compliments to both the Lord and the person who prepared it.
And so he returns back to his seat after having tended to the Count.
The leg is gone.
We'll go to Dallin next.
Dallin. All right. So, Dallin is going to do an intrigue here. That's what Dallin's interested in. So, specifically, the information that Dallin is going to be looking for is information on Sir Jaredith and his, these are the people that would know him the best in this kind of area. So I'm gonna try to very subtly pick up, what's the deal with what are your thoughts on his younger brother? What are your thoughts on him? Do you consider him an honorable knight? How good is he at, just the basics. I want to find out more about this lad. I'm not as invested in the feud as possible, but I am invested in helping my friends with their feud.
Even if it's just, guys, chill.
Please, sir,
okay.
chill.
I saw that clip.
Okay, so this plays out almost like a card. You know what? Actually, that would be really cool is to make a little mini deck where it's just how these 4 work, right? So it's like we turn over these cards, and it's almost like a card too. So this is basically, exactly. Your information finding, you get to make an intrigue roll. If successful, you get a check plus the information. If you fail, I'm going to kind of turn that on its head a little bit. If you fail but don't botch, then you just don't find out a lot, but you find out maybe a clue or maybe a breadcrumb trail towards something useful. So it doesn't. I'd like to make those other options useful enough that people take them at times, or strategically times to take them. I feel like the base book, they're just like, why not take the secret door number 5 option, right?
Exactly.
Now, for the sake of being honest, I have to ask, do I get a minus modifier to this because I am asking about him and his home turf?
No, because it's your home turf too, right?
Hell so yeah! Fuck this guy.
you're just mingling with the other folks.
Cool.
And you're asking specifically like what he's up to in Newton Manor.
I want to know
Newton
what
Manor
the general...
or Newton
Manor.
It's Fig Newton.
Yeah, there's like Newton Tony and Newton Manor, I think.
The thing that I want to know specifically is how the level of respect is for him in the court. I want to know how the people feel about him, how they view his like I want to specifically pick up like what the room temperature is on Sir Jaredith within the higher knights and the lower knights both, you know? Okay,
so you're putting a feel out. What are the knights specifically? The knights in Lords of the Realm think of him, kind of.
What's his reputation generally? All right, cool. So no modifier, and I'm gonna roll an intrigue. Here we go.
Well, yeah.
That's a success, because I'm good at that. Hopefully,
you're an intriguey boy. You remind me of every member of my family except me.
Except for you. I'm far prettier though.
Do we need to test the appearance? Challenge it.
What is your appearance?
I was looking at appearance and I was like, oh, it's 15. No, that's strength. And I'm like, oh no, it is 15. They're both 15.
Edric is prettier. Edric has an appearance of 17.
I think Florence is prettier than both of you guys.
I guess I'm gonna have to kill him then.
He's not my cousin. He's just a
He's gonna have to die. I don't know.
Thomas, is intrigue indulgence one of the pagan traits? I can't remember.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
I believe lustful is, but the rest are pretty much the same. Oh,
and energetic.
Generous. Yeah, and energetic.
Yeah.
But no, not indulgent.
Okay. Noted. I just was curious because we needed to keep track of you. You might score a high religious bonus, which gives you an extra. It's like a special thing when you cross over the religious bonus threshold. You might be nearing it with your high energetic and stuff. So.
You'll have the power of God and anime on your side.
Okay, so how this works for Dallin is, Dallin's good at intrigue. We've already established that. Dallin's careful also. We've established that. So you spend your time more among those near the salt and below the salt, not above the salt, right? When inquiring about this, you get the impression that Jareth is well regarded and has been spending a lot of his winter months entertaining smaller feasts with other nobles in the land. So he's doing a lot of politicking. He's earned a lot of respect. So if you remember some of the knights that came up to respond to the event, Morgant of Braver Stock, Brinley of Dinton, and Inian, Steepford Manor. Those are some of the knights that land relatively close to Newton Manor, where he's at.
Right.
He's doing a good job at sort of pleasing his neighbors, and he's also sort of got a a good reputation with Surrey Lad, which is crossing over to Count Roderick. Turns out that
Okay.
his father was close with Surrey Lad previously. So he's brown noser might be the term that you could apply to him. He's very good with
How
wanted
does
to
he
be
make a good
positive.
impression with people? It seems beyond his reach.
Well, if you recall, the majority of the negative interaction came from him
Yeah.
looking down on a bastard,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is not the
Which
way
is
he
not-
treats
not-
most knights.
Yeah.
Also not uncommon.
No.
Interesting. But so like generally people regard him as capable and, well-mannered.
There are some rumors of him being a bit cutthroat, like maybe having an untrustworthy piece to him, right? When he burns a bridge, he burns it to the ground, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. When he offers a squire, he offers a spy. Yeah, I get you.
You're like, I think you've already established that. I don't think this is. You also
All right.
learn that he has 2 brothers.
He does.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's
cool.
Jareth, and then
Yeah,
there's
someone
his
just- I'll
second
be right
brother. His second brother is Rickert, who's with you, and then he
Mhm.
has a brother 1 year younger than Rickert, whose name is Jarin, not Jareth.
Jarin. Wow, that won't confuse me at all. Okay, cool, exciting.
Yeah, and so Jarin's off. He's not squired in Salisbury. They don't know where he's squired. A lot of time right now there isn't that whole heir spare and third of the cloth because knights are in high demand right now. So it's more like heir spare and a mercenary knight.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
The
they
other
don't have armor
spare.
and a horse for you. Yeah.
All right. Well, I will keep an eye on that. I might have another intrigue I'll want to do in a little bit, but for now, I think that's good.
Okay, and you can tick 1 genealogy just for participating in that.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely. So you have 2.
I'm in the salt. I'm in near the salt, and
I'm in it. He's just
Yep.
Scrooge
I'm in it.
McDucking in the middle of the.
Yeah.
Edward, Mark.
Good question. I think Edward might do some intrigue of himself. Specifically, he's looking into any of the if there's been recent rumors of cultist activity like there was before. Perhaps a woman that's either runs among them or captured that matches a similar description to Edward himself. Basically, trying to track down any rumors he can find that might lead him to his mother in any way.
Okay. Go ahead and give me. You can go ahead and give me an intrigue roll. So again, a failure isn't awful. It's just not a check.
Well,
Now that I
probably gonna
consider it-
fail.
Now that I consider it, that probably should have been the priority, actually, rather than Jareth Goth's gossip.
What's going on with Jareth? Yeah, it's a failure.
So that all that means is you don't get the check on intrigue for this particular one, and that you're not going to get the equivalent. So there's critical success, which is good, failure, which is less good, and then critical failure, which is not good at all. So, so for this one, Edward spends a lot of his time sort of asking around about it. Everyone kind of looks at you and basically just gives you the same. So we heard about what happened in the forest. Is that what you're inquiring about? And you kind of go through that annoyingly over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
But you do end up with a brief encounter with what was his name, Sir Brinley, who you were there with, and he's having a drink with you for a moment. It's nice to be back in the comfort of a space we're so familiar with. Felt as if I was not even in Salisbury while we were in that forest. So odd.
Yes, it really was. Almost otherworldly. Sir Brinley, perhaps you might be able to help me with something. I'm looking for some information regarding a woman that went missing during that very battle.
I see. I must admit, while we were on the way north, I overheard you speaking of your mother. Is
Yes.
related.
Indeed, she is the one I look for. She was not among the bodies left hanging, so I worry as to what has become of her. She has not come home since.
I'm going to get you all to give me an intrigue roll here. He kind of motions you over with him a little bit as you kind of stand in a bit of a corner over by this guy here.
All of us?
All three of you can make the intrigue roll. This is kind of like, when you notice like body language and certain things. Like when someone's trying to keep a secret, so neither of you are standing around Mark's character, Edward, but you're kind of like, you're overhearing, not overhearing this, you
see it happening.
You
in the
might
background.
see something
you see
happen.
about it. Okay.
One off a crit.
Let me do intrigue, you said?
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay.
I
and
gotcha.
then, Thomas, what would have been what's your suspicious of Onion?
My suspicious of Onion is a +4.
Okay. And did anyone else have suspicious of Onion? It was just you, right?
Just him.
Okay. So this will be a success for you as well. So Goretrix and Dallin, you get it for a different reason than Dallin. You're just eyeing him all night versus, when you look up from drinking and eating, you see. So you see.
I hear him laughing, and I'm like, oh, is that the crazy laugh, or is that the he heard a good joke laugh?
There's no laughing. He's acting quite normal here, which is what you noticed.
Gotcha.
But you notice Brinley, who you remember was on that quest with you, and Edward stand off to the side, and they look over towards this guy. This is what your intrigue success. But while they're doing this, and they look up to the Count, you see that Onion all of a sudden starts, both Dallin and Goretrix notice that whatever they're talking about over here seems to have all of a sudden caught the attention of Onion. And he's definitely looking in their direction as they talk. And this is while you're eating. This is while you're eating, Goretrix, and while Dallin is talking elsewhere on the floor. So this is kind of like,
Yeah. It's like that scene in Person of Interest where someone's sitting down and someone's pointing a gun at them and someone's just upstairs sniping. They're just being talked at, they're being watched, and he's being watched by us.
Yeah. So, I forget his name. Sir Brinley leans over to Edward and says, I've heard nothing of your mother, nor of the other cultists. If they exist still, they lie low. What I can tell you is things have gotten quiet, as if there are those that are afraid to speak of it. Seem to be one of the only voices that cares to continue to investigate this. But I'm not alone. You should know that the Count has had this concern, not necessarily for those in yellow, more for the idea that witches or monsters could come from that forest at any point. It's a long-standing reputation those forests have. It seems we stand powerless to deal with them. There's no defense, there's no wall, no nothing. Count's been discussing this with Sir Mig. Are you familiar with him? He motions over to this guy, and that's when these other two see it. You can
say the name again?
AMIG.
Sir Mig.
A Mig.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
MIG. Mig.
That's the name of a plane.
My Mig.
Whoa.
Mig. A Mig.
Yeah, that was perhaps a little inappropriate. Ignore that.
AMIG.
AMIG.
Yeah. So, he says, so a Mig, when you hear the name, because you don't recognize the face, that's why you couldn't do the heraldry or the recognizable. You know the name instantly, though. This is one of the most notable knights in the land. In Salisbury specifically.
Okay.
It probably goes Count Roderick, Alad, then him,
Okay.
Ooh, that's
and he's
pretty-
also the cupbearer.
Yeah.
Which
pretty good.
you witness. This is when he comes over because the feast is just starting. So as he comes over, takes a cup, tests the cup, Roderick's cup, and then Roderick begins the feast after. So.
Okay.
So at this point,
Interesting.
Brinley says, "There's been interest from the two of them, and they continue to speak. Sir Alad dismisses it as not as big of a threat as the Saxons and the others that are more eminent and obvious. But Amig and Roderick have not dismissed this yet."
Interesting. Well, do let me know if anything comes up that might be related to my mother. I grow worried as each month passes. As well, if I am needed in any way, I will happily lend my aid, as will my friends, I'm assured.
Way to volunteer us.
I mean, of course.
If she
Likely
was,
You're
wouldn't.
going to say no.
if she was taken from her home, then there are only a few outcomes. I'm sure you've come to this recognition. Did she ever show signs of interest in... Well, was she of God or of the forest?
Now, this is something I'm not sure of, but Edward would probably know.
Yes. 100% pagan.
Okay, well that's good to know. Yeah, Edward would probably take a moment and go. She was closer to the natural world than our societies. Kind
He
of feels a
kinda-
little ashamed.
He leans in at this point and he says, "Then think that doesn't dismiss the option that she could be swayed. You see, those who serve our Lord, we understand there's one true God. But for those that serve the forest, who's to say another can't come along?" And this, just to be sure, so everyone knows, this is Brinley's interpretation, not Bob's. So.
Not canon.
Yeah. Canon.
Not out of game.
See, that's actually a double entendre. It's very good.
Yeah. I think also Edward would kind of instinctively move his hand over to like the necklace at his side. Kind of rub his hand over it for a moment. He wouldn't know. It's just a necklace, right? Or is there something else with it that I might have missed? That was left behind.
You can make a... God, you probably wouldn't even have that. You can test spiritual.
Okay, well, it's not great. It's not terrible either.
Hey,
Success.
ticket. I'm going to give you a free tick on that one.
Okay.
Just because it's entertaining. You don't know what it means. It's definitely, you would suspect pagan. There's nothing yellow on it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you've seen the yellow sign, so you assume it's not.
He was like, holy shit, why did I see this in the first place?
It looks to be like a green jewel that you're not familiar with, because knights are only so educated. And it seems to have some distinct meaning to her spiritually. That's what you figure.
Okay.
You figure it's probably
Yeah.
something like the cross on a Christian.
Imagine if it was the yellow sign. On the back is just, I have begun worshipping.
Yeah. It says made by Haster. I mean,
Yeah. Made in Carcosa.
Alright.
All right, so yeah, that's the end. That brings us to the end of the first round, right?
Yep.
Does Edward get an extra geniality for the success?
No, because he didn't succeed
he
at
failed.
the intrigue.
Oh, got you.
He
got
failed.
you.
But he still gets the 1 geniality for being there.
Already added.
And might as
So-
well mark this ahead of time, because it's something I pulled a little bit of a secret on you guys here. Because Mark did pull someone in who's not from here normally, and there's someone who's a respected knight, Edward will get 1 + 1 geniality at the end of the entire feast.
Very
Hot
cool.
damn.
I will add that now.
I just wanted to say that now because it will, it's that advantage of that little mechanic that I added.
Indeed.
So just to change the lay of the land slightly, not much, but there is someone who enters at this point, the feast. They definitely don't look like they're from here. She's dressed like a mercenary knight, would be the best way to put it. But also somewhere between the cross of a mercenary knight and how would I put this? Someone of the forest, I guess. You guys have recently dealt with pagans in different areas, so it definitely seems to stand out, not as your stereotypical Salisbury knight. She looks more. I mean, you've hung out with Merlin, other folk like that. She's definitely more of that in than the others.
I have a stick. I have a stick for her.
And
I brought the large occultist staff.
You know she's a knight 'cause she has basically the clothes represent. I don't even know. I'm trying to think what fashion would ring here because most people aren't going to rock armor during a feast, right? So, but she's wearing
tabard, maybe.
I'm not even gonna. I don't
Greaves.
Yeah, it wouldn't be armor itself, but it would probably be something within her wear that would suggest that she's riding as a knight versus not riding. And riding is super uncommon if you're on a knight because it's very expensive. So.
Yeah. Oh no. This is the worst possible situation for Dalen.
All right, and we go into round 2 now. He's standing at the entryway, just kind of looking around at this point.
Goratrix would like to get to know possible druid lady better. He has a cultist stick, which he can't find Merlin, and he wants someone educated to just talk to about it.
Okay, so you're gonna do an intrigue with her specifically?
Yes,
okay.
I will do my best.
So before you roll, just to check on Edward and Dalen, do you want to participate in this? If so, you guys can do 1 intrigue roll with your best score. And
yes, please.
I'll take. You don't have to, Mark.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Edward will do his own thing because here's the thing he wants to.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, perfect.
We'll consider a separate action.
I just wanted to. So that'll be something I'll let you guys do if you're at the same place, like if you're both near the salt and you want to combine and take the best score. I'm fine with that in certain situations.
Sorry, Mark. I was gonna spend my turn looking for your mom, but a lady walked in and I need to speak with her.
No, I get it. I'm literally fucking Edward's gonna ask her, does this mean anything to you?
Alrighty, so all of us are rolling then.
You guys are.
So is Edward going over to her as well, but he's not involved in that particular role?
Yeah, he wants to basically ask her what the necklace thing means that he has.
But
okay,
later.
You can share that same role then. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's with the same person and it's an intrigue, then that's fine.
All right, let's go.
Shall we give it to Dalen, or shall we all roll and take the best?
Our combined powers.
I have powers combined.
No, sorry. It's not you all roll and take the best. It's you can figure out who you want to roll on your behalf.
Oh,
yeah,
Dalen.
That's Dalen.
100%.
That's Dalen. Yeah.
Please don't fumble this, man.
Yeah, Dalen runs a hand through his hair and walks up. Hey, how you doing? I got a 4.
Okay, so if you don't have intrigue ticked, you can tick it now, all 3 of you.
Beautiful.
Oh, shit. Nice.
Yeah. That's what a success was.
We're seeing how it's done.
Yup.
As she arrives, you see just one of the guards kind of trying to interrupt her and be like, "You can't just walk in. Have you been invited?" She's like, "I'm here on important business." And she kind of moves past them. And he's like, "On whose business?" And she's just ignoring him and looking around the room, kind of like when a bouncer tries to check someone at a door, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've never.
So does one of you want to vouch for her or like help with that? That would be actually, if it's Dallin, that would be a great way to represent your successful role. Is for you to kind
Dallin
of like represent her.
slides in.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dallin slides in and goes, "Oh, forgive me, sorry. She is a very fine representative, and I believe is very welcome here. You wouldn't want to cause a scene on such a lovely Easter, would you?"
He kind of looks at Dallin and says, "All right, boy, but you watch her."
Of course. I promise. Any trouble she gets into will be mine to to worry about. I'll be held responsible.
And this is by the way a night guard. Like it's not.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course. And as she makes her way in, Dallin's gonna go, "I do hope you don't mean to cause trouble, because otherwise it's going to be very embarrassing for me."
Yes. Thanks for that. She's like looking past you already. Her eyes are set on Count Roderick.
You mean for an audience with the Count?
I suppose so. Yes, it's probably the easiest way. I'm not one for these feasts and all the talking. I'm here for. I'm here on important business. I have a message back. It seems some of the knights here have brought the attention of the one I speak for, and I'm here with news.
Would you be willing to share such news with me? I'm sure it's urgent, but if I know what it is in advance, perhaps I could get you an introduction to the Count.
She looks at you, not so trusting who you are. There's definitely a look of suspicion. And she says, well, if the Count is busy, then I'll speak to Sir Goratrix if he's available.
Oh, that's me. The big man just standing beside Sir Dalen pipes up.
Ah. See, Goratrix, Dallin, Edward, must be.
Yes.
Dallin suddenly is very uncomfortable with this situation. Yes. That is we three.
I suspect I know what you're going to speak about, and yes, it was damn strange.
What?
Y'all can make suspicion rolls, and you can add Onion here if you want. If you have it.
Yeah.
That was an in-character what?
Oh no, yeah. Goratrix suspects he knows what she's here for. Success on my part. It would have been
Success?
It wouldn't have been a crit.
All three of us succeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see Onion is watching you all now, and who this person is. But then again, so are a lot of people here, because this lady is just curious what this is about. She kind of walks in a bit more, so she's not just standing at the door, and says, "Can you show me to a drink?"
Of course.
I've been partaking a lot. Trust me, I know a good one.
Excellent.
And yeah, Goratrix will basically show her to, I imagine they're like large vats or amphorae, which are like handed about, which have the good stuff, which Goratrix is now inclined to vouch for.
There'd be casks for ale and wine available. There's also servants that would see to it. So, but Goratrix is probably the type that would serve himself and hate to ask on servants to do it.
Like, I mean, if it's there,
he's like, I'll do it.
I get another person.
His
to get it
energy
for
taking
him.
over.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Trust me, I get it. You don't need to worry yourself about me. I know my portions. The whole pig, sir? Yes.
So once she's kind of in, she has a drink in hand, she looks at the three of you and says, "This is tricky. Merlin did visit the sheriff. She did visit the holding cell, or he did visit the holding cell of the captive that you sent forward. But it's important that the king isn't aware of that detail for now."
That the king is not aware of this.
Merlin does not wish to have his location known at the time, and I respect him, and I respect his wish.
Why? The location thing, not the wish thing. Merlin is respected. He was essentially the guardian of Prince Maddock.
The king's muster, the recent one. At the king's court, Merlin spoke to the king and advised him against it. The Merlin, in all his wisdom, thought it unwise to attack the magician king. When the king...
Wait, Summerhall, the magician place?
The magician king, yes, the one who runs Somerset.
Oh.
Or Summerland, sorry. It was Somerset in old
yeah.
I think by Arthur's time it's Somerset.
And forgive me if this is intrusive, but who exactly are you?
Ah, yes,
Why
introductions.
You been sent with this news.
I know you Christians are very strong on your formalities. I am Branwyn, or Sir Branwyn if you must.
Sir Branwyn, you're knighted?
Yes. Yeah, that's a necessity to perform certain activities. And I thought it best to go through the formalities. As
It's
did
very
my
useful.
master.
Gortrix, looks at Sir Dalen, then back at Sir Branwyn.
Dalen has turned bright red.
Edward is confused.
But yes, I understand what you mean. It took me a while to add the Sir in front of my name instinctively. But I grew up in a Christian family.
I have a long history with Merlin. He's one who's taught me at times when I was younger. I occasionally do him favors. This is one of them. I've come to speak to the Count on your reports. This threat in the forest is indeed a threat.
Indeed.
One that should not be taken lightly.
Dallin looks to Gortrix and definitely Edward, and tries to gauge their reaction to this, what they're feeling.
Edward.
You can... Oh, sorry, you go first.
Edward almost seems to nod along with this as if it's confirming something he already knew.
Okay, good.
And Gortrix is like, yes, someone gets it.
Okay, good. All right, so we're all in agreement on this. Dallin will nod and go. Then I will do everything in my power to arrange that you get to speak with the Count yourself.
But before then, I have a spooky magic stick that we lifted off of the leader of this cult.
Oh,
And I brought it with me.
Oh, he's on this again. Okay.
You have it with you right
yes.
now?
Not with me. It is on my horse in the stables. It's with the bags, essentially.
He's brought it with him everywhere. He took it hunting with us.
I wanted to see if it had any powers or would enact itself so I could, burn it.
Such
As it
things
is, it
shouldn't
looks
be.
like a stick.
You should have destroyed it. Or sent it away.
That's what I've been saying.
I
No one listens to me.
I wanted to give it to Merlin, or someone who knew the business better than me, and then get an expert opinion. I have gotten one. I'll be right back. And he goes off as
Wait,
if to, like,
I'm here now. Perhaps if you've held it, it's best for me to examine it. Under your permission, of course. Once this is
of course.
dealt with. Priorities.
Priorities.
So, just a bit of an aside for you all. Getting to Count Roderick above the salt is going to be difficult. So you're gonna have to find a way. Yeah. You got to figure out kind of how you're gonna. It's not just like walking up there with her. So.
I think. Well, for one, Edward would try and see if she recognizes what the fuck the symbol thingy has. Otherwise, Edward would suggest speaking to Sir Brinley, because he seems to be involved in this whole investigation and is a notable knight. Perhaps might even be able to talk to the Count.
But before we continue with anything,
yes,
I would advise all of you in confidence to be careful around Sir Inian. I have suspicions that way. It's to do with what we did that night.
I have noticed he's been paying attention to us.
As have I, which is strange because, well, if we were to try to get an audience with Roderick, he would likely be the most direct method.
What we could do out of character is draw a card and see if like something the Lord calls for a toast, or the one that we got earlier, which is the Lord comes around and asks your opinion about that.
I would love to see. I would love to see Goretrix try to sneak a coded message into his toast to the room.
You know what? I'll do a round 3, and I'll let you guys decide what you're gonna do there. But let's maybe just play out Edward's little piece here, because this is still the same round.
Yeah.
I wonder, do you know what this necklace signifies? It's something that belonged to someone who's very important to me, but I am not a pagan, so I do not know its meaning.
Yes. So she looks at it for a minute, kind of examines it. Give me 1 sec. Something I just looked up and forgot to save.
Means death of the firstborn.
Yeah. I think if you guys want to go and talk to Brinley, Dalen will stay on watch the pagan duty. No offense. Just to make sure that she doesn't start talking to people or causing shit, you know?
So Dalen is always on watch the pagan duty. It's just mostly it's Goretrix.
Yeah, also Dalen has questions.
Hey, I have a 5% chance of recognizing if that thing is of any specific religious meaning.
You go for it, buddy. I believe in you.
You're the backup.
I'll be right back.
Just give me 1 minute here.
Okay. I will say originally I was thinking, we would just go to Goretrix and ask if he knows what it is. Then I remembered what your score was. No.
Goretrix is dumb. Goretrix believes in the religion. He hasn't been formally taught. There's no formal teaching for that kind of thing. He was just, I like the values of this. What's the whole deal? Spirits of the land and of the forest? Yeah, I dig that. And then from then on, he was a pagan. Also, he sounded like that at the age of 7.
So the pagan deity, M-A-T-H, is that math? Is that an actual, is that the pronunciation of it?
M-A-T-H? Math, I think.
What is it?
Math. The TH is, if it's like Welsh or something, it's a th sound. So...
Say it one more time just so I can hear it.
Either math or math.
Okay, so it would be like the school math, basically. Similar?
Maybe.
Or
I'm gonna Google it just to make sure.
Yeah, okay.
If it's anything like Irish or Welsh, it could be something like a maid.
Is it math up matho?
It says math, aka ESUS, which I think is Isis, right?
Oh. I left and I returned to math? Ugh.
Right?
Not quite.
Not quite the same one, but yes. I imagine there's some weird. It's like math or math, something quite
No.
not quite
Yes.
the curriculum.
Celtic lord or master. Sacrificed by being ritually stabbed and hung from a tree. Jeez.
That's not what you're supposed to be looking up. Just the
That's
pronunciation.
different,
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I'm looking at pronunciation. I don't think it could be the one. I don't see.
Yeah, I found like one version, and then I found another version. So I don't know.
Piers of the Pillar of the Boatmen on the Paris side.
I think anything sounds better than the school
Math.
program. Yeah. So what are our
Yes.
options here? Other than that one, if there is any.
Mott.
Mott. Okay, I can do that.
Mott.
Mott.
Yeah, I think so.
Not Matt, not math. Mott.
Mate. Mott.
Okay.
Math. How?
Okay.
So it is just MATH, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hmm.
If I search up math god, it links me to a bunch of
Okay. We'll leave it.
middle school programs.
Yeah, we'll leave it. Give me a sec now because I lost my page.
Sorry about that.
No, my computer went nuts. Had nothing to do with you. Okay. So she says, it is spiritual. The one who owned this was one of the forest. This is the necklace of Mott. It represents the one who is the keeper, Starry Night, the overlord.
Is that it?
That is all it ends, yes. It is. Mott is one who speaks their secrets to the astronomer and the herdsman. The source of wisdom.
I see.
This is not
Just
yours, I
stares
take
at
it.
No. No, it's not.
Well,
That just kind of reattaches it to his belt. Or his side.
she won't pry. She'll leave it at that.
Mm.
I hope that helps you.
Mm.
All right. So round 3.
Yeah.
Have to cut it short, unless there was something Edward would have said. At which.
No, because what he was really going to say is not really. But no, he kept his mouth shut to be nice.
Okay. All right. So back to the top of the round with Goretrix. Maybe let's just plan this out. I know you folks are planning your strategy in between, so you probably all got it ironed out here. But just to verify, were you tag teaming anything?
Goretrix, the man of not the most social skills, is probably not the best to kind of go up to the host and ask for a quick audience or point this out. But if I draw the right card and the host comes by me, I can trust on luck to get me by. If I don't do it, I think that's fine. Oh yeah?
The chances of drawing that card is very unlikely. Like, there's a lot of cards in that deck.
There are a lot of cards in that deck, but it's probably safer and more likely than it is for me to try and subtly approach the Lord and be courteous my way up.
Edward's suggestion is like speaking through Sir Brinley because he's involved in the investigation in the same way. Being like, this lady would be helpful towards your investigation. And then he would talk to the Count.
Mm. Sir Brinley is well respected.
Or even to the cupbearer, but I don't know if we can really get a conversation with him. It's possible, though.
I'm on speaking terms, by which I mean he spoke to me after I ate his food.
Edward is the only one that really knows any link to the cupbearer. So when he mentions the
Gotcha.
cupbearer, that would
Yeah.
sound confusing to Dallin. It would sort of be like, what about the cupbearer? Like that would, like, so you've Gortrix met him in a different way, but Edward was the only one to talk to Brinley that mentioned
Yeah.
the secrets, I guess, around the cupbearer.
On that note, what does the cupbearer have to do with anything?
He's a great knight. In fact,
It is?
one of the greatest knights of this area. Yes. I didn't recognize him originally, but I've definitely heard of his tale many a times.
The older gentleman that looks like Dowd?
Yes, Sir Amig.
Huh.
Gortrix kind of like rubbernecks over.
Huh. Well, that seems like that might be a fine way in, then.
Indeed. I confess I didn't recognize him either. I'm bad at that. First it was
I think
Siberia.
he's a more incognito knight, I suppose. I mean, he's a cupbearer, so he's quite prestigious.
Hmm. Yes, that doesn't sound like a bad idea. If you can go to him or Sir Brinley, and they can act as a go-between, essentially. We don't need to break formality, even though we are near the salt. We are not above it.
Yes.
Let me ask this question for Bob. I'm gonna stop doing the character voice. So, most likely, I imagine what we're gonna need to do to make this happen is another intrigue roll. And Dalen really wants to use their action to do something else. Am I able to offer my intrigue to somebody else's turn and still do my own thing, or would I be giving up my turn to do that? I understand there are priorities here.
Yeah, you would be giving up your turn to do that. So.
All right. Then if it should be needed, Dallin is offering to schmooze. They're the good schmoozer, and also
I will give Mark a +5 to, and this will tend to stand for people. If you fail a single time on a whole turn intrigue, you can spend a following turn and get a +5 on that same person, as long as you didn't botch. If you botched, not even, like, you can't even try to repeat the same intrigue.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
With that said, what is Edward's intrigue normally?
3.
Mine's
Plus-
8, so we got equal odds.
Yeah,
So
it's a little
probably
exactly the
benefit you
same.
guys to roll individually each and spread your odds out, right? Because if one of you succeeds, you succeed.
I
would be good.
agree.
Agreed.
All
Now
right,
the other thing of note is, if this is super important to you, you can always make a passion roll here, but you risk. Yep.
I may.
The Saxons don't happen to worship half-gods, do they?
I'm sure they do secretly.
Gotta get it in there somewhere.
You've got a
Once an
good
episode.
point. I believe I may try and invoke my passion because this is important. Not only is this important to me and my friends, it's important to the House of Winterbourne Stoke as a whole, because the cultists killed, my father and the current acting lord. And I don't want them to ever do it again. We need to find them. We need this lady to speak to Count Roderick, and I need her to tell me exactly what evil sticks do.
Totally acceptable.
Yeah.
You want to do it?
Risk it as well.
Let's do it.
Let's start with. I mean, you don't have to decide these simultaneously. We can start with seeing what Gortrix.
Do you want to go first?
If Gortrix runs off into the woods, madness.
Yeah,
then...
I shall. We'll see if this happens. If I think about the yellow sign too much,
I've got some good ones.
Yellow
here.
sign.
Yeah.
I believe in you. I believe in you.
It's written literacy. My one enemy. All right, let's do it. Oh, close. Very close.
That could have been bad.
It's a success.
Okay, so there's a couple options here. That gives you what? Was it +10?
+5.
+10.
+5.
+10.
I think it's
+10.
I think it's +10 if you crit.
No, it's plus 10 minus 5. I'm pretty sure it's like plus 20 or
It's
something
plus-
crazy
It's,
like that.
it's like plus
Okay.
15
Got
if you.
you.
Yeah.
yeah,
Plus,
it's,
it was a
yeah,
lot.
plus 10 sounds right.
so it's plus 10. What would that bring you to as a skill?
Intrigue of 18.
18. Does that count your... Oh, you don't get the plus 5, that's right.
Yeah.
So, options here. Do you all have intrigue ticked?
Yes.
You do,
I
right?
Yes.
So in that case, it doesn't matter. Well, it does in the sense that if you succeed at the roll, everyone gets the geniality, right? So if Mark joins Thomas's single roll, you both get a geniality success. If Mark fails and Thomas succeeds, only Thomas gets a geniality. So you can spread out your options and roll twice and hope for the best, or you can roll once and both get the geniality if it works out. With
I have a
good odds.
10% chance of failing.
I mean, I'd have the exact same, but that's if I succeed on passion. If I fail, I get a -5 if I remember.
Yeah.
correctly.
I'm gonna excuse myself, and if Goretrix fails, I might jump in there. But otherwise, I'd like to keep my action free.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's a fine plan. In that case, how about you join me for the geniality, and because combined front is better, and if we fail, we have a backup.
It could be that interesting thing where it goes sideways and Dallin notices and comes in to save the day, but has to give up the moment that Dallin is waiting. It'd be interesting. Like, as far as the worst case scenario, that would be a good...
That'd be very interesting. Yeah. It'd be very cinematic, and also...
Oh, yeah. Oh, so bad, yeah. But yeah, with that said, for the first time in, I think, his life, Goretrix is going to try and schmooze.
And Edward will assist.
Use what your mama gave you.
Kind of.
And it's the powers of deception.
Yeah. I'm not sure how I feel about my mama giving me that. My family's good at this. Goretrix is just thinking about his family, and it's like a smile. No, wait, smiling too much. Wait, hold on. Challenge to duel? No. But yeah. With that in mind, I'm gonna make the roll. If that's all right. Let's do it.
Succeed, please.
Success.
Hey!
It would have been a bare failure had I not invoked my passion, so I'm glad I did that.
Yup, that's really good.
Okay. Perfect. And that leaves Dallin the option.
Yeah.
So the two of you approach Brindley. What is your strategy here?
Mark, Sir Edward, who has spoken to him before, probably going to make introductions, and so Goretrix is going to try to lead it towards, we have something about that. A new person.
Yes. I think it starts with Edward being like, Sir Brindley, it's good to speak with you again. I know it has not been of a long amount of time, but this is my good friend, Sir Goretrix. He was with me.
Sorry, as you go to say, this is my good friend, he says, Sir Goretrix. Because he remembers, right? Yeah. Which is it's not a common trait. Like, it's not like, oh, duh. It's like, oh, he remembers a name, right?
Yeah.
Of a less notable knight. So.
Yes. Well, I think he will definitely, we have something to share with you. Goretrix, if you would like to.
We do. You are not the only one who has continued this investigation. In the background, I have asked some questions, sent some letters, and indeed Merlin is interested in it as well. He has sent a messenger, Sir Branwen over there, and he's going to gesture subtly, learning from his brethren, just indicating with like a tick of the head to Sir Branwen over there.
The woman. The lady. Yes. He says the lady. That would be probably how he... Though that in and of itself is weird because she's a knight, not the formal title of lady. She's not, right?
Indeed, yes, that's the one.
A knight. You said sir.
Yes. I'm not sure how it happened, but it seems remarkably progressive.
She's also a pagan, so it's probably why.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Perhaps.
No, nothing wrong with
Anyway, sorry to distract.
that.
All fine. Don't worry. My mind wanders at the best of times. But that said, she wishes an audience with Count Roderick, and we are household knights, not to the level of notability as you or your friends. Is there a possibility that you could arrange an audience for her with him? She needs to check on what has happened. After I suspect she will be speaking to us as well.
Did you
Getting to
say
the
she
bottom of what-
represents Merlin?
Yes.
Yeah, we sounded real confident.
There's probably like a moment where like Edward looks at Gortrix for a moment and goes, "Shit, is she?"
No, Goratrix is like 13 honest. He is going to say yes. I respect Merlin's judgment in this.
Oh, very well. I mean, if it weren't the feast, then it would be easy, but,
Yeah, it's busy.
well, here, come this way.
Of course.
He starts moving over to Sir Mick.
Goratrix will like do the whole shuffle thing, where he's between tables and like people who are sitting at him.
Mick does one of those,
the
like,
table slightly.
Mick, like, sort of recognizes Goratrix. He's like, ah, and then kind of looks over to the two of them and then back to Brinley with a raised brow. Sir Brinley. Sir Brinley nods. These two here, well, they have some news for you. Won't steal their opportunity. He turns his attention to you. You would note that also puts the blame on you if anything goes sideways.
Yes.
Kind of a mix.
Mm-hmm.
There's a small like ping where he hears his father's voice in his head, not like "Do this for me, my son," but "This may be turned against you eventually." He doesn't listen to that voice most of the time.
Yeah.
But Sir Goratrix gives a very polite and respectful nod and says, "Sir Mig, my apologies that I did not greet you formally before, but my mouth was full. That said, one of the new guests to this place, Sir Branwen, the lady, she is on..."
Did you say Sir Brennan?
I did. That seemed to be the correct form of address.
Very well. Interesting. Go on.
She comes on business to meet with Count Roderick regarding the business with the cult not a few months ago.
I don't think... Well, I can speak to her then. That's fine. The Count is busy. What business does she represent?
She represents the Merlin.
Oh. Well, that complicates it. She can prove this, you're certain.
My trusting is... Oh, my trusting is at 9 now. Can I roll trusting?
Do you want to test it versus suspicious?
I will roll trusting versus suspicious.
Yeah. And so this would be a really interesting point. Let's say you named Merlin as one of your trusting points. You could actually apply, like, one of your directed traits. You could apply that to trusting here, right, in that case. So...
Oh, success on trusting.
There you go.
Fumble on suspicious.
All right. So you can...
Trust me.
With the fumble on suspicious, I'm going to give you a tick on trusting.
Beautiful. Goratrix, golden retriever. Even at the worst of times. It's going to
Adore
say...
him. Adore that man.
Yeah. I have absolutely no doubt in my mind. I believe her to be someone honorable. Otherwise, she would not have been a knight. And a woman. They gotta be good.
Well,
Killed it.
And was kind of confused by that comment for a moment.
Yeah. So he's following with the first part, and then you completely lose him with the add-ons after. It's very clear to Edward. There's like this. Oh, just stop! No, stop there. Oh.
Yes.
Um.
does stop, perhaps a little late, but he does say, "I believe so. Yes."
Very well. I will speak to the king or to the count. See if I can make a moment. I expect the two of you to represent her. And what business do you have with the Merlin circumstance? Were you amongst
We were
those in the
part-
forest?
We were.
Yes.
We were those who slew their leader.
Ah, I see. Well, Sir Goratrix, and he looks over to Edward, not knowing his name.
Sir Edward, my lord.
Sir
Actually, he's not
Edward
a lord,
of
it is-
Idmiston,
would he
it
be?
seems.
Yes. Indeed.
He does a whole heraldry check, basically, and that'd be like the equivalent of it, right?
Yeah. So Goratrix is in awe of his ability to notice the whole coat of arms and like link it. He doesn't like say anything, but he does. Oh.
Yes. I will see about gathering you an audience. If I understand it correctly, it best not happen here, side room.
It should be best done privately, yes. There are concerns that I have.
Yes. Definitely.
Well. Alright, and I think we can cut over to Dallin at that point. You guys are good.
Yep.
All right.
Goratrix stops being possessed by the spirit of his scheming family.
So you both get a geniality
Oh.
tick for that round, like the one you got from succeeding the intrigue.
Alrighty.
Alright, on to Dallin.
All right. So Dallin has stayed with our darling lady friend Sir Ranwin, and I'm gonna roll something here. I'm gonna roll something here, and I'm absolutely gonna fail it, but it's necessary for the character.
What are you testing?
Can I roll it and you can see, and if you
Yeah,
want to
sure.
retcon it, you can. Okay.
Oh, that's fine.
All right.
Oh.
Yeah. That didn't,
Okay.
that didn't go the way I wanted it to. That's okay. That was expected. That was an expected outcome.
Alright, yeah.
So, yeah.
Give me some context. What does this look like?
So Dallin is kind of very awkwardly like standing by and just kind of like, trying to be relatively attentive. Like, do you want some food? I could, I recommend this over here is very good. I haven't tried that, but I've heard good things. So how did you find your way tonight? It's just bad.
Okay.
Like,
So the failure is probably one awful flirting, right, to begin with, right? Or at least really no confidence behind it, or whatever it would be.
correct.
Followed by the whole point of it being as telegraphed as possible, which is the next comment. She rolls her eyes and she says, "What is it with you boys? Can't you get over the fact that, yes, I'm knighted? Is it that hard to understand?"
Maybe not. I mean no offense. I only just mean that it's not very common here, so it's a curiosity. I'm sure your skills and talent must be astronomical if you've been. I'm just wondering about the circumstances behind the. I'm sorry.
So the way she's taking this is you're just yet another guy that's trying to pry into how she got knighted. So right. So
On the bright side, it means she's failed her medicine check.
well, unlike Goratrix's situation, Dallin is without a wound and a shirt,
Yeah.
or with a shirt. But she just looks at Dallin a moment and looks past him as he was talking. Did you linger behind so that you could make these ridiculous words with me? Is this really the most important thing you could do? My master was without squire, saw to it that I train under him. And when the time was right, and the realm was in need of knights, he made a decision to knight me. There's nothing against the laws, despite what the Christians will tell you. It suggests a woman cannot be knighted.
I see. I was under the impression that it was deeply frowned upon. Have you been treated well when visiting other courts?
No, that doesn't change. In fact, it gets worse, I imagine, for a Christian. The pagans are used to ridicule where we go.
I have some confidence in that, yes. Perhaps many male knights feel challenged by your position as their equal.
Quite so.
And perhaps in some
And are you one of
situation-
them? She kind of, again, reading into it wrong.
A male knight? Yes.
Yes, instinctively.
I-
Wait, no.
I think that your entrance into this room was powerful, and you carry yourself with the confidence and grace of someone who has wisdom beyond their years. Beyond that, your gender matters very little to me. Not that it doesn't matter to me at all. No, that's not what I mean.
Get to your point, she says.
I simply wish to say that and Talon just freezes up for a second and then takes a really big swig of some kind of alcohol that's present and goes, I suppose I have no point. I wish to be polite and make you feel welcome in a way that other knights may not, I suppose.
She kind of does like a mocking curtsy and says, your hospitality is most well regarded, Sir Knight.
Indeed. And Dallin will just let it be quiet.
You
then.
can tell she's got a chip on her shoulder with this particular topic, and not knowing the
Yeah.
detail doesn't really.
Oh,
It's
Yeah.
just reading it completely wrong. So
oh, honey, I understand so much more than you could imagine. All right, Dallin will let the room sit then until friends return.
so here's a
Oh, but
question.
you did have the intrigue thing, didn't you?
Oh yeah, you were supposed to.
Or was this the thing?
Yeah, this is it.
Yeah, I
Why don't you-
implied that I
That
was
was the
going
thing.
to do.
Why don't you test it?
implied-
You're probably going to succeed without criticaling, but if you did critically succeed, this might have gone different. So let's just sorry, you
okay.
did. You rolled flirting. You did a flirting activity.
I did. Yeah.
Did a
I
roll,
was
yeah.
I was implying that I wanted to do something else, and I knew you guys would think that it was an intrigue, but it was a flirt. It was a flirt that I was doomed to fail.
I didn't know exactly, but I thought you were going to do something weird.
I had a feeling
Yeah.
what it was,
I'll
but
let
not
you
how it
fail.
would approach. Yeah. So the flirting failure means it didn't go particularly well, but still got plot and stuff out of it. So it behaved
It was
very.
still valuable.
Yeah.
It was still valuable information, especially on the knighting situation. I mean, that was not even a possibility in Dallin's mind recently, so that's
Mhm.
helpful at the very least.
Exactly. So, quick question for you guys out of character, because it's already past usually our cutoff point. We could follow it up with one last scene with her in the count, or we can start there at the beginning of the next session.
I'm down with either, but it is getting late for our Canadian and American.
Normally, I would
friends.
cut off, but we have Family Day here in Canada tomorrow, so it's a little different. But
It's nearly one. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
So I will admit this. It is a definite bad idea for me to continue.
Okay.
And
Let-
also, let's do it. Let's please continue.
No, I don't want you to end up having a rough day.
It'll be
tomorrow.
fine. I've got an early wake up, but I've got an easy day tomorrow, so it's not like it's gonna be insufferable for me.
Let's commit to a nice short interaction then. Let's wrap by one for sure then. We good with that?
All right.
I will
Let's
be fine
go.
regardless, but that would be appreciated.
Hold on. I think I hear the sound of Serpentine Muse breaking down your door.
Oh no. Oh no. They've got to be up even earlier than me. They shouldn't be breaking it on my door.
And so just gonna put, so this is, and sorry, Brinley will not be present just because he wasn't the one gathered for the
Yeah.
audience. He was just the conduit.
He's
Yeah.
a dork. Oh, yeah, that's good reasoning too.
So that's the crew.
I love him at the moment. He's friends with everyone, and nothing suspicious about that. Says the person who hold on suspicious.
And of course, you all notice Einian coming. Not coming, sorry, he's just following you with his eyes. I was going to note, though, that Cadfile and Roderick, when you guys go to leave, they stand up like they're supposed to come along.
Edward would brush him off as if to be like, go sit down.
Okay, he shrugs and nods and goes back.
I wish I had minions.
Dallin? Dallin? Oh no, I was about to say. Okay, can I roll something here, Mr. Mark? Can I roll or not Mark? Bob? Can I roll? Yeah, can I roll suspicious?
You roll yes.
With Rickert, because I do actually think that he would be valuable here, considering he was one of the two people who wasn't staring at the thing.
Why don't you trust suspicious versus, roll suspicious versus trust, but add your thing for
yeah. Because I don't want him to be.
Oh, fumble on suspicious.
Hey.
So one is much worse than the other.
So
I know. Spring in Sir Onion.
yeah, because it's a failure on like a crit on suspicious. In this particular case, trusting will win out. If they were both failures, we probably would workshop what happens. But one's a crit.
One's a fumble. Yeah.
Yeah, one's a fumble.
Yeah.
So that also means whenever you fumble when you're comparing, you can take the trust. You can put a tick on trusting.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I just got suspicious up. I don't want to lose another one.
Join me on the believing everything everyone says side.
Alright. So, as Rickert stands, Dallin is gonna put a hand on his shoulder and go, Rickert, I'd like you to come with us, but I need you to understand that the conversation we're going to have is going to be of utmost importance. If it comes that it's said that no one should hear what you hear in there, no one else other than you should hear what you hear in there, I need you to swear on your honor that you won't tell another soul.
You have my word.
Okay. Then I trust
How old
you.
is he now? What's his wire? Because he just went up a year.
He should be 16 now.
Okay. So he's starting to look a bit more like a fighting ready lad than he did last year.
Yeah. I mean, we spent some time training together. You know, we've got a bond now. But yeah, Dallin's gonna go. Okay, then I trust you. Come quietly, and if I ask you to speak, speak.
He nods. You know he's pretty good at that part of it. Like he doesn't overstep his boundaries much on your behalf. So. It is Cadfile, but Cadfile's more because he's like cowardly. But
I more want him to be prepared in case I need him to give a testament of his experience.
Yeah.
Because I was out of commission at the time.
Yeah.
At the moment, I hope that, or rather, Gortrix hopes his cousin will turn out like Rickert instead of like Sir Jareth. He'll suplex him.
Ed was kind of like, there's not much, more in his own mind, being like, there's not much to my brother. They differentiate them. Oh, really, there's not much in his head to begin with. It's kind of like you, Goratrix, but smaller.
Thank you. Well, it must have been a good thing you said it was about your brother.
I'm certain it was a compliment.
Yeah, that.
All right. So at this point, it's announced that the Count Roderick has entered, and he comes into the room. All of you are already present.
Do we kneel? Do we bow? What's the proper etiquette? Would Gartrix know?
Good question.
Gartrix wouldn't.
I think
And
no,
courtesy
you
roll?
would know the basics as a knight in training. You
Gotcha.
would just know that stuff.
Fair enough.
It's not Neil. He's not a king, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just like a bow, like a formal bow.
Be a salute.
Forlock, sire.
Dallin will, arm to the chest, bow the head, like salute.
By the way, if you need a mnemonic device for Amig, it's Amigo without the O.
Yeah, amigo.
So, Sir Amig, when he enters, the Count looks at Amig, who's already here with all of you, and says, "Sir Amig, you asked for an audience on behalf of others. What is this concerning?" And Amig goes and turns all of you.
Is Sir Brenwan with us?
Nope.
No.
Nope. He didn't come.
He was not.
Please.
He was not asked to come. He was like the conduit to gather this thing, so he didn't invite himself.
He's
You guys are here as the
I
messengers, and the Mig's here as like the.
I mean, Lady Pagan Knight, agent of Merlin. Sir
Brynwyn.
Brenwan.
Brenwan's here.
Brynwyn.
Brenwan's
Yeah.
here.
Oh, got you. In that case, yes. Well, the onus would be on Brenwan to speak. But Gartrix.
Only if you guys
the
defer
one-
to her. That's
we
what.
should
So
introduce
he's.
her at least.
Yeah, Gartrix will defer. Still being possessed by the spirits of his family, he will say, "Sire, we have brought before you Sir Brenwan." And then now defer to the lady.
Make a courtesy roll.
Okay, I still have the +10, right?
You do.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay.
You just really don't want to fumble this one.
I really don't want to fumble this one.
Oh.
Off with her head. Who brought this pagan in front of me?
This
Oh,
Me,
another
the other
penguin? Another penguin? Off with both their heads.
Another penguin? All right.
Another
Come
penguin.
on.
Back.
Come on, Oberon, King of Fairies. Thank you, Oberon, King of
The
Fairies.
penguins and their
Hey.
ridiculous religion. I swear.
Your courtesy with a +10 is the same as my courtesy regular, so it's fun.
Okay.
You guys can notice something different about Gartrix. Like, he's walking different, he's talking a little different. It's very different from the Gartrix that, like, spoke to Sir Brenwan. It's kind of like he's really thinking about all of his movements.
And I think
Edward?
more so you notice the passion in him too right now.
Edward.
Yes.
Edward, I'm
Wants
frightened.
this to work.
Oh no, he's competent.
Edward, I'm scared.
That can be a tick. That can be a tick courtesy because your courtesy is what normally a 3.
Yes.
Yeah. So when it's that low, usually I'll give you guys, even when you impassion to do it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Okay. So it seems to sell well with him, and so you announce her, and you mentioned. I'm just remembering now because it's late at night and I forget what your actual introduction was. But you
I
were-
mentioned to Amig that she was an emissary of Merlin. I'm
Okay.
going to leave it up to Sir Brenwan to introduce that herself and her business.
So at that point, Count Roderick says, "The Merlin. I did not know he had a Lady Knight as his messenger. Very well. You speak for the Merlin, and you prove this." She nods. "I carry a sigil," and she brings out something you guys wouldn't really call a sigil. Looks more like a rock with carvings in it.
Yeah, that works for me.
Roderick seems familiar enough, and he just nods. Very well. What brings you here? What news does the Merlin give to Salisbury? As you must know, Viscount, or what would be the reference for a count that you don't refer to, not your count? My
hold on. I actually learned a specific etiquette for this game and another.
I know your Grace is Duke, right?
Yes, you're right.
I don't remember what lower than that
I think
is.
it's Lord.
Yeah. I think it's my lord. Right?
Yeah, counts are your excellency.
Your excellency.
Is it? No, that's bishop, isn't it?
Lords are lord, counts are excellency, dukes are your grace, king is your majesty.
We'll go with that for now. We should put a little shortcut together and put it specifically on this page so everyone can refer to it. But we'll also bypass that.
This is your grace? Is that the one?
Your excellency.
Your
excellency.
Which I would. Gotcha. Isn't that like what they call U.S. judges? Something like that.
I think that's your honor.
Your honor, yeah.
Yeah.
Where's your excellency? I feel like I've heard that in like modern terms.
It is, because it's I could have sworn it's like a religious term, or a term for.
It doesn't matter. We'll use your excellency for now. We can look it up.
It sounds right.
I'm gonna fact check myself because you're making me doubt myself.
No, don't for now. Let's do this scene.
Yeah.
Or Liam's got to go to bed here. I don't want to hold this up till 1:30.
Good, you guys. I'm not even sleepy. I'm not even tired.
I know that's the problem. I know what it takes to after gaming, what it takes to go to. Okay, so she does seem to show etiquette, though it's strained, like she's not as comfortable in it. She says, "Your Excellency, the Merlin did in fact receive the captive. He sent me here to inform you that the captive was interrogated and executed promptly after by him directly. He also sent me with a warning." And Roderick and Amig share a glance at that point. Roderick says, "Go on." She nods. He warns that this yellow sign and the king in yellow, it's a real threat. Those who serve the Yellow King are a real threat. That forest holds a linkage to a great many things, that of which I can't explain. These are Merlin's words. What you should know is that he considers that forest dangerous, so long as it is without patrol. Count Roderick nods. Then our worries, our suspicions are validated. Tell the Merlin that we will take his warnings seriously. I've spoken to Sir Mig already about some potential options, but I mean to establish a new fortification near the forest. Sir Mig will be taking that title.
If I may, Your Excellence, I would like to volunteer for potential patrols in that region, unless you have something that you would rather put me on.
Sir of Durnford.
Yes, my lord.
What is your name again?
Dallin, sir.
Dallin. My apologies. It's been some time since I've knighted you. Or wait, were you knighted by him? I can't remember. You were knighted by... Did we establish that? Were you knighted by your count? I think
probably.
Yeah. Yep.
Most likely.
Yeah.
Though, of course, yeah.
Yeah. I'm following.
Yeah.
Was Dallin really? Yeah. It's been some time since I knighted you. Times have been busy. I apologize for forgetting you. I
It's no worries,
ask
sir.
for your forgiveness in this. I will leave the decision around the patrols to Sir Mig to coordinate. When we are done here, he will be... his duties will remain in Salisbury. He will not be upon the muster to Summerland. He will remain and begin the construction of his new keep.
I see.
Sir Mig says at that point, "My lord, I will request your excellence," I'll say. No, I'll say my lord because he is...
My lord works.
Yeah, because
yeah.
he is knighted
Yeah.
by him, right? My lord, I request permission to establish those of household. We will need many knights if we are to be successful in the patrol. Count Roderick says, "Yes, of course. Knight as you see fit." So he is effectively almost like the equivalent of like a banneret. Right, that's what you're gathering. It's a cut
Inwardly,
above
however-
a standard vassal knight, but
Yeah. Inwardly, Goratrix is like, is it that easy? It can't be that easy. And the voices of his parents are like, it's not easy.
yeah, there's something here where what you're seeing is someone slide into a super advantageous scenario. But you get on the impression of Amig, nothing about him seems... what's the right word?
Manipulative?
Yeah, he just doesn't have that air of being someone that is actually like sliming their way in. Like if Jareth
Yeah,
did this,
he's
you
not
guys would all be like, "You
obsequious.
fucking asshole." But
Yeah.
We would do that if, again, though, if Jareth went to the bathroom, we'd be like, "Oh, you fucking..."
Yeah.
You bastard.
This guy.
Who's talking now?
And then there's this asshole.
yeah,
Literally in that case.
all right. So yeah, at that point, the Count says, "I'd like to thank you." He turns to Goratrix, who spoke, right, and says, "I'd like to thank you for bringing Sir Knight before me, and I'd like to thank you for traveling all this way.
My pleasure and duty.
You'll excuse me, matters to attend." And with that, he turns to leave. Sir,
Goratrix. Oh, yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
Goratrix will turn to Branwen if there was anything like she wanted to add, or if she's like dissatisfied with the outcome.
Why don't y'all make me intrigue rolls real quick?
Oh, my favorite. My favorite now.
Yes, Goratrix. Look at the facial expressions.
Oh, so close to a crit.
Oh, somehow I still managed a failure.
Success!
Hell
Somehow.
yeah.
Hey!
We are on the entire opposite.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was one off a crit too.
No, this is perfect. So this is how I'm going to deal with it. Goratrix turns to, because this has nothing to do with Branwen, so that's perfect. You turn to Branwen to see if everything's okay, and it is. Everything seems fine. Branwen seems to nod at this. But Dallin and Edward, their eyes turn to Amig for a moment, and there seems to be a concern. As the Count leaves, it's like he's really focused on trying to think through something. You know that problem where you realize that you have a conflict of some sort?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sir Mig, is there something you're considering that we can help you with?
There's like a light bulb for a moment on him. He says, "Yes, actually. I was already busy with other duties on the Count. It can wait for the summer, of course. You can muster to the King's call. When you return, come see me. I have more delicate matters for you and the..." He seems to be piecing the three of you together now. It's the three of you to look after.
course. We're always happy to aid.
It would be
Indeed
my
so.
honor, sir.
It is okay politically to act like he's not your. I mean, I guess he is slightly your senior now, but you could ask like it's one level, so it wouldn't be. It is kind of being thrust upon you, even though Dalen sort of served it up to him. If you want to know more on this, you can leave it a surprise, or you can ask more.
I think Dalen's pretty nervous right now.
Gartrix has gotten rid of his minus for energetic. He is fucking pleased to do anything.
I think Edward would kind of nervously go, if I may ask, what exactly is it you would have need of us when the time comes? Should it be preparation for battle or something else?
He smiles at that. And there's not. This guy doesn't smile, so the smile is worrisome. And he says, "The Count is to be wed soon. The suitor must be found. For the last 2 years, I have traveled to other lands, to other key suitorettes, to find the right one. It is important that this journey continues, and I would like the 3 of you to join my already existing contingent upon this journey."
For our own edification, will the seeking of this, or like making pleasantries happen, be part of our duties?
There is one who's much better with words than I. She is a skilled lady of the court. She will be accompanying you on this matter, but of course you are to speak as knights.
Okay.
If you need to defer to her for pleasantries and subtleties that your skill of the sword does not suit you for, then this is an opportunity. I have leaned on this opportunity myself. I keep falling out of his voice. He has like more of a deeper sort of
Interesting.
That is good to know. And you can tell because Gartrix just basically thanked his gods when the option for an opt-out there was made.
Yes.
Go ahead.
We will make sure this task is successful, I suppose.
I think Dalen would probably be the one out of the 3 that would be like, I actually know what this is probably about.
Yeah.
What this involves. And you'll find out, so the 3 of you, just as we close down for the night, the 3 of you will have no issue with mustering the battle in Summerland.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Gartrix will be fine with that. He's into battling. And like the whole magician king thing. Look, Gartrix had a fucking blast the last time he tried to fight a magic person.
He got kicked out.
Wizard.
He got hit in the head so hard that he went flying, and that's never happened to him before.
Do it again.
While he's got the usual concerns, like, should we really be waging war on our own people? And the Merlin said stuff against this. Yeah, he does what the king says because he's a knight and he likes to fight.
All right. Well, let's wrap there, but real quick, let's convert that geniality into glory. And I'm going to give you an additional 30 glory for having that private audience with the Count. It's like worth something, right? You walked out in front of the crowd, like everyone got to see you walk into a room that the Count came into.
What's up, Jareth?
Yes, I was just about to say.
Business.
I was just about to say, like, the voices in Gartrix's head were like, now strut a little so Jareth can see you.
Making eye contact. Oh, wait, what's that picture of that dude in that pink morph suit that's like opposite side of Bane?
Fucking.
Oh, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. All right, so that is 50 for Edward. No, sorry, 80 for Edward, 70 for Dalen, 80 for Goratrix.
Yep.
80 for Goratrix. Wow, fancy boy.
80 for the both of us. Yeah, we succeeded on checks somehow.
And
Was he being
so
possessed by the spirits of his past? Maybe.
so Anwar being present is part of the reason why Mark got 82. Otherwise, it would be Mark and Liam at 70 and Thomas at 80. Thomas passed all his checks. Mark and Liam both failed one. Like Liam failed flirting, Mark failed being true.
Hell yeah, I did.
But Mark made it up by the invitation of someone, a notable knight. Sorry, it's not notable.
Next time.
A recognized knight from somewhere else who did a good job here, wasn't an asshole.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
Next time, gonna invite Maddock. No extra points.
Oh yeah.
the trick is they do have to
Prince
show
goes
up, but yeah. it
Yes.
is-
Yeah.
I invited the king. He didn't show up, but I invited him.
Next
guys.
session, Goratrix is going to ask about Sir Dalen and Bramwood's conversation. He assumes it went fucking swimmingly and that everybody confided in everyone, and he's gonna be so happy. And he's gonna be like crestfallen when he realizes the truth. But why? You were right there. Oh, he's also going to need to speak to her about the magic evil stuff.
Yeah, I'm putting it in the Knights of Salisbury chat. I'm just gonna put a little reminder that we got to do it next time.
I'm gonna do something interesting too. I got to work out the math, but somewhere around 10% of the starting glory that a knight has, if you squired them for their journey, and your squire or your knight, you're their master when they become a knight, you'll get a 10th of their glory. So if you happen to squire like Sir Maddox, right? Like then you're gonna get like a huge chunk of glory that most people wouldn't, right?
Indeed.
But it's I figure it makes sense, right? Like whoever had Lancelot as a squire probably did okay when Lancelot, right? Even at the starting point.
Was Lancelot squired? I thought he was. I guess he was a hedge
No,
knight.
it's
so
a
I
good
guess
point.
knighted.
It's a good point. But you know what I mean?
Theoretically.
Like someone
theoretically.
famous, like
Oh, yeah.
up and coming.
Galahad.
Yeah. But did they have a... Yeah. I don't remember his...
Galahad must
It's
have
like
been.
Customato was fairly popular, and then Mike Tyson came around, and Customato became very famous, right? So, like, oh, someone taught this dude how to do that? No, I'm a huge fan. Like,
Indeed.
so okay, so we're gonna wrap there. Let's do quick outros so we can get Liam to bed because we're already 10 minutes past late. I'm Bob. Thanks for joining tonight. Had fun. Sorry for the winter phase. We'll keep working on the pacing there, but winter phase will happen, and we're gonna do it on stream. If you like the stream but you absolutely hate winter phase, let us know and we'll reconsider our options there. Down to Thomas.
Hello, I'm Thomas. I've been playing Goratrix. I love the winter phase. Paperwork in games. Some people don't like it. I like it. But then I'm a nerd, and that's what we're here for. I've got nothing to link to. There is, however, Discord in the YouTube, and that's where the VODs will be going up to as well. Hope you've all enjoyed. This has been me.
Thanks, Thomas and Mark.
I have been Mark, and I have been playing Sir Edward. I hope you all have enjoyed, those who are watching, either on stream with us live or watching on the YouTube. Of course, we have some other good content or great content coming out soon. We got the Xanthus, I believe. Indeed. Xanthus, yes. And that should be coming out. Is that this Wednesday or? Yeah,
so I forgot to mention, I ran into some work complications last week. I was going to post Thomas's. Thomas's will start Wednesday, so we're 1 week behind what my original plan was.
Yes. All right.
But Thomas will start this week, and then we'll go through Mark, Liam, and into the rest of the new gang we haven't seen yet for Xanthus. So we are officially starting our rotation this week. I will stay true to that. So.
All right, cool. Great.
Cool.
Yeah. hope all you watching have enjoyed. And I'm somewhere on the internet. I'm sure you can find a video of me somewhere. Yeah. See you guys next week or whenever you watch next.
Thanks, Mark. Liam.
Hey, I've been Sir Dallin. I'm also Liam. I've had a wonderful evening with you all. If you want to see some other stuff I do, I Twitch stream occasionally, and I say funny things on Twitter sometimes, at Darth Coakley, for both of which. I'm also going to be in Xanthus, so I'm looking forward to that, and I also enjoy Winter Phase, so you can't take that from me. Yeah, I had a wonderful time, and I'm looking forward to next week. I wish it was Sunday already, so.
All right. Thanks, everyone. You can find the Discord link through here and through YouTube. You can also find, actually, maybe just through YouTube, but you can get to YouTube from here and then have the Discord link. I got to figure out how to do more on Twitch. I'm not as super user when it comes to here.
Twitch literate.
Yeah.
Get a hot tub.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's it.
It's
Yep.
that's how you become rich off it. But I'm pretty sure no one would watch that. The YouTube, you should be able to reach here, and the video will start processing and uploading right after we're done here. Thanks everyone for joining, and one last piece regarding Xanthus. It is a D&D-like scenario. It's 5e compatible. We're playing with the rules. It's a little different, but yeah, you can find out more there. See you, everyone, good for next Sunday. Thomas, Mark, Liam.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Well, then we'll say goodbye for the night and enjoy. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, well.
Yay.
Bye.